player in the competition, despite being suspended for 5 matches. In his sole appearance in '95, he single-handedly destroyed Brisbane. Tonight, the Carey-led and inspired favourites in the Ansett Australia Cup meet Essendon, a team looking for its 3rd successive pre-season premiership. The Bombers are hot. In their opening match, spearhead Scott Cummings kicked 7, and Coach Sheedy suggested he might just be the player to counter the brilliance of Carey. A fascinating suggestion. Tonight, the second quarter-final of the Ansett Australia Cup. The winner to meet St Kilda next Wednesday night.
Yes, what will Kevin Sheedy do to stop this team, and in particular the man in the number 18 Guernsey, Wayne Carey? North, the running machine with some dynamic midfielders, are certainly going to be very hard to beat. But Essendon does have the power to really throw down the challenge. They are chasing their 3rd successive night final. Once again, they have had injury problems, but they also welcome back several big guns, and a couple of youngsters are really starting to show some very good form so early on in the season.
The 1995 Ansett Australia Cup, brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, Nike, Foster's Lager, and McDonald's.
And a man enjoying his first pre-season, well, his first summer without pre-season. What's it feel like? Are you going through withdrawal symptoms?
Sandy, it has been very enjoyable on the other side of the fence. Mark my words.
Well, it's good to have you back. We're looking forward to a fantastic year, and of course the Ansett Australia Cup building to a climax. North Melbourne, their field of runners, I marvel at them. They look so good to me.
A very good side, Sandy, and led by Wayne Schwass, the best and fairest winner last year in the midfield with that left foot. He certainly sets up a lot of play for them. They've recruited over the summer, and Robert Scott comes in to join the side from Geelong, adding to the midfield, but looked more as a goal kicker for mine. And Craig Scholl, really dominating across the half-back line, and has been an excellent runner for them.
Well, it's good to see Paul Salmon back, but Kevin Sheedy said, well, we might even play Scott Cummings on Wayne Carey after he booted 7. You know what it's like to coach. What would you do?
I wouldn't like him to do that, Sandy. I think Scott Cummings did very well in his forward work last week, and with Salmon coming back in, I think Salmon will also fit into the forward line. But a young player coming into the night's game is young Matthew Lloyd from the Western Jets, was the #1 choice in the under-16 draft earlier in the season, and will fit in and joins Sean Lufat, who made a very impressive debut last week in the game here. And then Scott Cummings, who after 7 goals, I think, should deserve the right to be able to stay there and be able to reproduce some shape of that form again tonight.
So did you answer my question, or are you going to sit on the fence?
In terms of Carey?
Yeah.
I think Wallace or Fletcher, the 2 defenders coming back into the side.
All right, stay with us. We'll find out just who has got the job. Well, the question we want answered here at Waverley Park is who is going to play on the Wagga Wonder? Wayne Carey. Dipper, I believe you can give us a scoop.
I certainly can, Sandy. Number 21, Dean Wallace, will play on Wayne Carey, and why not? He's a go-getter, a very tough competitor, and he's played in grand finals. He knows all about the big business. Down here, as you said, it's a little windy down here tonight. About a 3-goal breeze to left of screen, and after the rain we've had, the conditions down here still very perfect for a great night of football.
Thank you, Dipper. Time to welcome a man who played 120 games between 68 and 74 and never failed to score a goal. A fantastic achievement by Peter McKenna.
Thank you very much, Sandy. And look at this, Terry Carey starting at the centre bounce.
I think that's a very good move there. Dean Wallace, who was to stand him, might have been a little bit too physical early.
So here we go. Carey, as you can see, smack in the middle. Somerville tries to get it out of the centre. Could be an opportunity for Essendon through Joe Mercedes. Couldn't take it. Wayne Schwass, best and fairest champion at Arden Street this year, gets it across to Laidley. North go forward to Stevens, looking for big things from this left footer this year. Down towards half forward. Pressure now on the Essendon defence. Grenville pushes towards the boundary line. Going to be kept in play by Fletcher. Wobbles it up towards the half-back line. Unable to take it cleanly was Mercedes. And eventually, the little white line exerts its authority, and a throw-in to take place.
Dean Wallace now has gone to pick up Wayne Carey, so that's a definite match we've got there at the centre forward position for North Melbourne.
Well, you can bet on one thing, that'll be a very rugged clash as you see Carey bumped off the ball. Mark Roberts did it well to Anthony Rock in front of goal. John Longmire in front of the pack. So that's a free kick now. Which way is it going? It's going to North Melbourne, to Carey, I think. And already I said this would be rugged between Wallace and Carey. You can bet your life on it. And Carey won't stand back. He's an aggressive player, and he's got a free kick right in front of goal.
Peter, this is a great test for Wayne Carey here. Dean Wallace is standing in this position as a representation of all other league clubs. How does Wayne Carey stand up to this sort of thing? I think he's well above it. I think Wayne Carey will really take hold of this game now.
Well, the worst way to play Wayne Carey would be to try and scrag him and knock him off his game. I know who'd end up on top. So Carey from directly in front of it, be a great start to North if he pops it through. And it's on. It's on. Look at this. Just a bit of pushing and shoving after he kicked the goal. And, well, what a start to the game. And there's tempers are flying out there. They're afraid.
That's everywhere just at the moment, and the runners coming off the bench now to make some moves and settle the players down. But I think, Peter, what we're seeing now is that there is no distinction any longer between the Ansett Cup level game of football and home and away. They're all taken very seriously now. Clubs have a real purpose about this particular competition now.
Wallace into the middle with Carey again. He's following him. Ushenko and Somerville had a nice old chat on the way back to the centre. Somerville goes storming through, tries to push it down to half forward. Player goes down behind play. That was Wayne Schwass. Advantage is going to be paid to Rock. He goes down towards Longmire. Hot start by North Melbourne. The Bombers winning the toss and kicking to the end that's favoured by a slight breeze. Longmire's centering kick. Oh, perfect. And guess who? Wayne Carey. Still they chat.
What a start for the North Melbourne champ.
And an Essendon player hasn't touched the ball yet. It's just been North Melbourne, and they've really taken control in this opening minute.
Finished third in the club best and fairest last year, kicking from 50 metres. Kicking pretty well. This is some start by North Melbourne, and the sign says it all. Classic Carey.
Dennis Pagan couldn't ask for anything more. The word's been put right back on Kevin Sheedy now in the coach's box. What's Kevin Sheedy going to do with this particular ploy of trying to have Dean Wallace take Wayne Carey on in a physical aspect of the game? So Sheedy will run him a little bit longer, I think, but he now has to start thinking about contingency plans to this particular matchup.
Well, there's the man with the big job, Dean Wallace. 2 goals to North Melbourne, both kicked by their skipper. And there's Wayne Schwass trying to crash through the middle. And he's got the free kick. He doesn't kick it. He handballs it to Ross Smith. Smith goes the long kick down to that Talenton forward line. Over the back is Longmire. Here's Anthony, Chris Danaher, I should say, on the left foot, bring it down towards centre wing. Up they go. Oh, Smith went for the big punch and missed it. Scholl gets it to Schwass. Gee, North Melbourne looked good early. As Schwass brings it out wide, it's a long kick. Here they come. It's King getting it across to Stevens. Stevens races in. He's inside 50. He kicks for goal, and he's missed. What a start for North Melbourne. They're looking good, Terry.
They certainly are. They've taken real control of the midfield. Essendon trying to shut a few players down. Sean Denham onto Rock. Grenville on Nichols at half-back. They're trying to shut down the run of the North Melbourne, but to date they haven't been successful at all.
Paul Salmon starting on the bench. Tim Darcy, an ex-Cat.
Yours!
Roberts flies from behind. Buick does the roving work. Essendon a chance now through Fraser's. Got a bit of pace. Gets it across to Ricky Renshaw, the left footer. In towards half forward. It's a centering kick, but it's belted clear. Oh, could be danger. Straight down to Cummings to CC. Cockatoo Collins goals for the Bombers. Turned 20 last Sunday, the former Port Adelaide champ.
And he's the sort of player that the Essendon side really need going. That was a lot better there. The ball moved fluently through the midfield, through Fraser and then Renshaw. Cummings was fortunately in the right spot, but was able to get it off quickly. And Shea Cockatoo Collins is the sort of player that Essendon look for in this forward line. Missed the last 5 games of last year. His pace around the forward line is extremely important to them.
And still Carey and Wallace having plenty to say to each other, but that was just what the doctor ordered. There's Ricky Renshaw, Anthony Rock playing him closely. Centre bounce is very, very important. There's Stevens. Now Swass. They're very strong midfield, North Melbourne. As Swass kicks long, Simon's underneath it. Here's Robert Scott, the former caddy, gets his boot to it as he's slung to the ground. Up in the air it goes towards half forward. Tim Darcy gets it further afield to Wallace, then receives. Good play by Darcy. Onto the racehorse, Darren Buick. And the former West Australian kicks it long down towards the forward. In the back. Has to be a push in the back to the Bombers. And is he paying the advantage to Young? No, he's not. It's coming back to Barry Young, the former Tiger. He's way out at half forward. He's looking for someone to lead. Now he's forced to bomb it in long in towards the square. He's hoping that Cummings can take a mark. Over the back is Laidley, off his fingers and through for a behind to the Bombers.
Good start to this game. Just get the feeling that this could be a big night.
There's a real tingle right around the whole stadium, Sandy, isn't there? This is great stuff.
A goal of difference after Wayne Carey kicked 2 in the opening couple of minutes, and one wondered just what was going to happen. Things have steadied down. Craig Scholl, one of best and fairest, 4 years ago now. Kicks up towards centre wing. Roberts elects not to fly. James Hird does. And does it pretty well. He's one of the keys to the Bombers' hopes in '95. Scholl again may get a chance to clear. Just pokes the handball out towards Blakey. He gets legged, loses the football. Mark Mercury through, but he also lost it. There's young Lloyd. What a moment for him. Mercury again gives it out the back to Olarencho. He goes short, and the mark is taken there by Mark Fraser.
A couple of telling touches there by Olarencho in the last few minutes, just to be able to settle the side down. And Mark Fraser now at the Essendon club after 3 years at Collingwood. This will be a very handy goal just to settle the ship.
North making a forced change through Archer. Here's Fraser. Dad Ken played almost 200 games with the Bombers, 198. And he's kicked his first with the club.
Scores a level here at Waverley as we see big Alex Ashenko charge in against Peter Somerville. Ashenko won it. Anthony Stevens gets it further afield to Matthew Armstrong. Armstrong towards Longmire. Good mark playing in front. That's the way to play full forward, Jerry.
Particularly on grounds this size, to be able to get the break there and have the space in front. And John Longmire has looked very good in these last 2 Ansett Cup games, and he could well be back towards 100 goals in the season if he's able to maintain such good style.
One of the many AFL players who have had serious knee problems. Johnny Longmire kicks for goal. He hooks it slightly and has missed. That'll be a good contest down there, Sandy, with Longmire and Tim Darcy, 2 pretty experienced players now.
Yes, as Archer has a little bit of repair work done. Good to see Tim Darcy getting another chance. He brings it back into play, coming straight down the middle. Roberts again will come over the back of Somerville, attempting to spoil. Schwass waits down in front, gets the hand pass away to Stevens. Sweeping hand pass. Look out, boys. Going to have to be very quick, Mr. Rock, and he is in towards goal. Touched over the line for one behind.
But Sandy, what a great piece of play there from the kickoff. The outriders had the Essendon break well covered. Robertson, Carey ready to knock the ball to the front. Schwass in the right position. Quick hands into the centre corridor. A great piece of play. Dennis Pagan will be very happy with that setup.
2 points the margin. Put the brakes a little on Darcy. Stabs out to Somerville. This time in front of Roberts. He was brought back over the mark.
Still one, Mark.
From half back to Ricky Olarencho.
On there.
He looks down towards centre wing, but there's not a lot on offer. Every man is covered. He wants something to be created. It was a pinpoint pass, but unfortunately Lloyd couldn't complete the mark. Schwass was taken high. He's had a pretty bright start, Pete.
A good player, Schwass. Dynamic player. So Wayne Schwass brings it to half forward. Pinpoint accuracy. Finds Robert Scott, who plays on. He finds a loose man with a hand pass. It's Anthony Rock. Rock brings it back in front of goal. Longmire sets himself. Oh, Carey came to the side. Here's a chance for a quick snap at goal. And it's been kicked by Trent Nichols. Excellent snap. A real Rovers goal. And kicking to the square, Terry, but really they got in each other's way then, Carey and Longmire.
They did, but this was a good piece of play, Peter, as you pointed out. Scott to Rock, and Rock, no hesitation in squaring it up to the front. Yeah, the two big men clash, but there's no problem in that if you've got the smalls there to be able to rove it, and Trent Nichols, that's his bread and butter, and he was there to put it through.
First kick for Trent Nichols for the night, and a goal. He'd be very happy with that. Buick has an area out of the middle, and it opens the door for Wayne Schwass again. He pumps it long and deep in towards Carey territory at half forward. No one able to pick it up cleanly. Stevens comes crashing through, runs into a brick wall. A crude tackle on that occasion by Dean Wallace has lost Essendon the football, and Nichols may have 2 goals with 2 kicks, but this may just test him. Wants to get on with it quickly. He's 55 metres out. He's gone for the doctor. He's gone towards Carey. Belted over the line for one behind. Dustin Fletcher as we go down to Dipper. What news do you have on Mr. Archer, Dipper?
Sandy, straight off the ground, straight up the tunnel, and they're looking at his ankle at the moment. The doctor did say he's twisted very badly.
So there he is, Glenn Archer. And he looks to be in a bit of pain. Tim Darcy on screen, the godson of one of the greatest cats ever, Bobby Davis,
yep.
Woofer Davis.
He'll be watching tonight.
He'll be watching tonight for sure. A great half forward for the Cats. Now over the back of the pack, Matthew Armstrong was there. Denham gets it to Mark Fraser. Fraser to the centre wing here. Here's Barry Young, who's doing all right early. Beautiful hand pass to Masidi. Masidi in towards full forward. The ball hits the deck as they race in after. The quick hand pass comes back. It's on half forward with James Hurd. Hurd trying to get it to Cockatoo Collins. Oh, great play. He's caught. Is that holding the ball? I think the umpire will ping him. He will. Advantage. So it might come back. He paid advantage, and then it didn't work to North's advantage. But here's Armstrong from half back. The long kick to Carey, who races out the centre wing and takes it. And the crowd erupts as the North Melbourne champ brings it in. It was Longmire. Strong mark in front of Timmy Darcy, 45 metres from goal.
Dean Wallace is really struggling in the contest now. He's missed some of the pre-season with injury, his first game back, and Carey will really outstretch him on the running, and was able to set that up here again. And Longmire just too full once he plays in front for Darcy.
So John Longmire with his second chance at goal. He missed the first one. He hooked it to the left. He's on the other side of the ground this time. And whatever breeze there is going the other end. The end that Essendon is kicking good. Not a bad looking kick by Longmire. It's a goal.
Centre bounce once again. 4-4 plays 2-1. North regained the ascendancy. Schwass has been like a dynamo out of the middle. That was Stevens soccering off the ground down towards King, who's in front of Ola Renshaw. Oh. The latter just gets boot to ball somehow and pokes it over the line.
And Ricky Ola Renshaw. There's David King. She's been a good player for North, former Port Melbourne boy, of course.
Plenty of pace. We may have the odd shower or two tonight, but certainly not an unpleasant evening here in Melbourne. Ushenko playing in front. Armstrong, new lease of life, new club. Robert Scott. Now something behind play. Ola Renshaw has lost the football, and he can't understand why.
Actually, North had control too, didn't they?
So they've brought them back.
Yeah.
The ball was delivered down into the forward pocket.
Well, it's funny, when that ball was kicked to the boundary line, Ola Renshaw was actually trodden into the ground by King, accidentally, of course. Port Melbourne boy wouldn't do that deliberately.
Of course they would. Speaker P. McKenna. Up towards Carey. Was there a push? I think there was. He's lost it for the moment to Fletcher. Now Joe Masidi, Smokin' Joe, from half back, looking for a big year. Wide towards centre wing. Well, North had the numbers for the moment anyway. Was that holding on? Play on is the call for the Bombers. Lloyd getting his chance at senior level and hoping to take full advantage of it tonight. Barry Young close to the boundary line. Schwass is on him. Ball still in play, but close to the line. But another bounce.
And Sandy, the move has been made at centre half back for Essendon, with Dustin Fletcher now going on to Wayne Carey, trying to stem the tide through that half forward line. Carey's well on top here just at the moment.
North Melbourne hot favourites at 7-4 on, Essendon at 5-4. And they're probably pretty fair odds too, as we see Dean Laidley trying to crash his way in. Here's Matthew Armstrong, the former Fitzroy centreman, and it's forced to the line. And we saw Matthew Lloyd a moment ago, a youngster from the Western Jets, who of course were coached, but a great halfback from Richmond, Mervyn Kane. Terrific player, Merv, over a number of years. Here's a Schenko at the back. Mercury, a highly skilled player, shuffled out by Stevens. Danilchenko went without it. Here's Ross Smith. Danilchenko's there also. Fraser gets it out to Denham. Further afield it comes to Buick. Up to Somerville. Can't get the second bite. Goes on with it. James Hurd is there. Now Jason Danilchenko. Now Mercury. He goes to ground. Hurd trying to get in a hand pass. Oh, it's tough in there in the clinches. Is knocked out by Mercury. That was great play. Cockatoo Collins. Did he throw it to Denham? I don't think so. Denham fires it at goal. That is great team play. The Bombers.
Very handy goal to Essendon and Sean Denham. Runner-up in the best and fairest last year after a wonderful season. Out of the centre, David Grenvold pokes it back in towards the middle once again. It's socket away off the ground down towards half forward. Ola Renshaw has been busy. Here's a chance for Buick. Didn't quite sit in front nice enough for him. King's under all sorts of pressure. Buick in over the top, but so too is Anthony Rock. Fine tackle.
Good umpiring too. Not pluck a free out of that.
And it was significant that was North Essendon's first clearance from the centre bounces in some shape or form. North have been very dominant in there, winning all 7 prior to that one.
Roberts again doing a little bit of leaning up against Wallace. Out it comes to Armstrong, picking up plenty of touches. Fourth kick. Back towards centre wing. Bounce may favour big Dustin Fletcher. He pumps it long in towards half forward. A prodigious kick. Hurd unable to complete the chest mark. Recovers brilliantly. Gets a sweeping hand pass. Buick off the ground towards full forward. It just spins away to the left and through for one behind.
He's just the sort of guy who can kick a goal like that, isn't he, Darren Buick? There's Kevin Sheedy.
Conservative back pocket coaches, Peter, don't like that.
Would you regard yourself and Kevin Sheedy as conservative?
And Dennis Pagan, another back pocket, Dennis Pagan.
Here's a hand pass from Scholl back to Jason Danilchenko. He gives a further hand pass to Trent Nichols. This is good running play. Wayne Schwass back to Nichols. They've got a good mosquito fleet. Down towards Longmire. Longmire beaten to it by Darcy. He went without and allowed Grenvold to come back. Give it to Michael Simons. Simons a chip pass and he finds Wallace. And there's Dean Wallace, who's a rugged customer, brings it further afield to Joe Mercedes. Mercedes looking for the short one. He might be better off. Oh, yes, he is going short and wide. And he finds Dustin Fletcher. Fletcher kicks to the wide open spaces. He's looking for Barry Young. He's doing pretty well in this first term. The former Tiger Young onto the left boot. Brings it down towards half forward. Ola Renshaw is underneath it. Over the back is Laidley and Blakey. Laidley takes better. Fine play by North Melbourne now. The umpire's calling. No, he's giving a free kick to North. We'll go back to Blakey.
Just over 7 minutes remaining, Pete, in this first quarter. Blakey goes up towards half forward. Carey again could have given a nudge. What the fly and what a mark by Michael Simons.
That's a great grab. Let himself go up there like that, up and over. Great effort.
Wayne Carey can only look at that one. Grenvold plays on. David Grenvold again over the centre. It's a good night for a spectacular mark. Rock around his body he goes towards Robert Scott. Great effort. Beaten by Joe Mercedes and well beaten. Played by Mercedes. And James Hurd wearing the number made famous by Terry Danaher amongst others. Heads straight for home, but misses to the right.
I was talking to James's mum and dad in Canberra for the Ansett Cup match up there between Hawthorn and the Swans on Saturday, and they're very proud that his dad was Alan, who played at Essendon. His grandfather, of course, was the great Essendon player, Alan. His mum, Margaret, up there in Canberra. They're very proud of him, and no wonder. He's a great player, as we see Craig Scholl, a long kick towards centre wing. King couldn't take it. The hand pass comes across towards Armstrong. Armstrong onto the left boot, brings it down towards Carey at the back. He flies and he marks. He's a long way up from goal. He gets it moving quickly. Good play by Carey. In towards Schwass. Can't get the second bite. Goes in after it again. But Timmy Darcy is there to handle it back towards the line. And over it goes for a throw-in.
I think Carey was thinking of the hand pass, as we see Paul Salmon, Brian Wood, but he caught his teammate a little underwears, so was forced to kick down into that forward zone. Fletcher and Carey do battle again. A Rock in front of Buick. Armstrong swings it round in towards full forward. Longmire sees it bounce away and eventually over the line for one behind.
Sandy, it's interesting now that Dennis Pagan has basically checkmated Kevin Sheedy by taking Mark Roberts off, and Dean Wallace now is exposed to one of the smalls in Warren Campbell coming on, trying to expose some sort of a deficiency perhaps in that defensive makeup of the Essendon side.
Tim Darcy, his father, ripped apart the Rich River Golf Course this past week, brings it back into play. Taken by Fletcher. From half-back. Comes the way of David Grenvold. Wears number 29 and turned 29 last week.
Let him go! Let him go! Let him go!
This is Sean Lufat, an exciting youngster from half-back. Kicks long and low up towards centre wing. Who are the players waiting down? Fraser is immediately caught. Hand pass gets pushed towards Stevens eventually. Danilchenko is also there. Can't take it cleanly. They pounce upon it. Look at Stevens. It's coming in from the side. Danilchenko over the top. Lufat is there as well. And a bounce to take place. An excellent first quarter. Rowan Saws, Mark McKenzie, Tim Pfeiffer in charge of proceedings tonight. Stevens does well. One of the runners they're looking for really big things for in season 95. Running out of room was Trent Nicholson.
That was
Played it, he played it very well, didn't he? Very subtle.
So it's right on the half-forward line for North Melbourne, as we see Longmire doing the ruck work. He gets it too and gets a quick kick down the direction of Carey. Let's see what the centre forward can do. He gives it across to Robert Scott. He was caught high. Unselfish play by Scott to Stevens into the open goal, and he's missed. It hit the post, and it was terrific play by Robert Scott. Unselfish football, and they've messed it up.
It was a perfect piece of play by North Melbourne, and all Anthony Stevens perhaps needed to do was to pause and to go back for a set shot. But I wouldn't chastise the boy for that. I think at times when the gap's there, it's a spontaneous reaction. Do I stay or go? He had plenty of room, and just the charge was sufficient from Simons, I believe, to be able to take the point.
Just on 4 minutes remaining. Stevens keeps it in his team's attacking zone. Oh, look at the play from Schwartz to Allison. Another behind. Well, they're wasting opportunities there. What play by those two, particularly Wayne Schwartz.
You wouldn't care that they're wasting opportunity just a moment. They look so sharp there. All these midfield small players. Schwartz, great reflexes there to Allison. And by gee, he was moving when he took it.
A veritable share market the way that ball's changing hands at the moment.
So Tim Darcy, the long kick this time to half-back. He's looking there for Somerville. It's thumped by North back towards the half-forward line. This is where they're dangerous when their little sweepers come in. Here's Trent Nichols back towards Longmire. A long way out from goal. It's up in the air. It should be an Essendon mark. Oh, Fletcher got in the way. Oh, boy, here's Simons. Would have been an easy mark there to Buick. Taken by Ola Renshaw. They're off and running, though. Here's Fraser. He's very, very quick, Mark Fraser, the former Magpie. Long kick to the half-forward line. James Hird, 2 bites. He's got it. Oh, look at that for good play by Hird. He races away. This deserves a goal. And the Essendon youngster kicks. That is magnificent football.
An excellent first quarter continues here at Waverley Park. Kevin Sheedy and his team of officials down on the bench with just over 3 minutes remaining. 8 goals have been scored, a very even contest. Ishchenko on the ball is beaten, but Rock was perhaps taken high, and he's going to take it from the centre. They're preparing to make a change. North with just a couple of minutes remaining. Capuano about to come onto the ground. We'll keep an eye on him. There's another good mark by Simons. Well, he's taken the mark of the quarter so far. Gives it to Fletcher, who goes out wide to Cockatoo Collins.
I think Simons is getting over to help out Fletcher, Sandy.
Cockatoo Collins towards Buick, who's created a little space across half forward. Doesn't mind a run. There's Mr. Buick. Lovely kick, but just unable to get there was James Hird. He need to be another couple of metres back, and he could have been running into an open goal. 4-7 plays 4-4 as Roberts comes on, and having a spell for a moment is Warren Campbell.
So here he is, Dean Laidley. Some people call him the junkyard dog. The way he just fights and scratches. He's a terrific little half-back. Here's Blakey. Longmire's obviously been moved from full forward, and he's taken a good mark. Oh, he went to handball. Oh, the umpire giving him the benefit there. But he was certainly off. Now the long kick to half forward. He's looking for Carey. Pressure on there. Mark Roberts comes in to lend a hand. He can't get a favourable bounce. Still in play. Good players. He scooped it up to Carey. Carey brings it in high, in towards full forward, hoping someone could take it on. Somerville couldn't do so. Denham is there, and Swash. Here's Nichols. Scoops it out to Allison. Brett Allison round the corner, and waiting back there is Michael Simons. Drops the mark. He's got plenty of time to duck and weave, and away he goes. Oh, he might have run too far. He's run too far. Oh, the umpire let him go. Still going, Michael Simons. I reckon he ran 30 metres without bouncing it. Kicked away by Mark Fraser to centre wing. Thumped down by Scholl.
So he'd like to buy real estate off him, Pete. Still in the centre of the ground. But Blakey takes the hand pass. Gives it over the top to the man Mr. McKenna calls the junkyard dog. Been watching too much wrestling. Armstrong. Almost down to half forward. Just swings inside to Roberts. Well, it may have a shot. No, to Carey. 44 metres out. Pretty good looking kick, just drifting across the face eventually and one behind. .48 plays 4-4.
It's been a very good effort from Essendon to pull North Melbourne in. North Melbourne historically get off to a good start and then go away with the game. You need to be able to hold them, and after the early onslaught, Essendon have been able to do that and have set themselves up well for a quarter-time break.
They've got a very good record in night football, Essendon, as Darcy brings it back into play. They've won 5 finals, one of them against North Melbourne some 5 years ago. So the boys from Arden Street will be very keen to try and square the ledger maybe just a little. Denham goes over the top, gives it to Ella Renshaw after it started with Darcy. Regola Renshaw's kick is high, up towards centre wing. Difficult one for Hurd, and he's surrounded by 3 players. He copped one in the back, so one is going to beat 3 on this occasion.
Great player, James Hurd. Now, he dummies that one and then brings it in low. Danilchenko put his body on the line. Well played. Here's Mickey Martin. Left-hand hand pass, showing his class there, Mick. And eventually it's forced by Danilchenko to the line. But Terry, I think he'd be your type of player, wouldn't he, Mick Martin?
He certainly is, and this would be a good test for Scott Cummings. Cummings did very well last start. He was 7 goals, but this is a different kettle of fish when Mickey Martin's your opponent.
Well, they both went for the ball in the ruck there and both missed, as we see Anthony Rock going for the long bomb down in the direction of Carey. Carey and Fletcher. Carey couldn't hold it. Fletcher playing him pretty closely. Ola Renshaw. Further afield to Dean Wallace. Wallace a hand pass. It's a good one to Fraser. Fraser to Buick. Time running out. Buick goes backwards to Ola Renshaw, and as they're mucking around with that ball, the Bombers, the siren has sounded, and it might be on here. King and Ola Renshaw had a dust up earlier in the quarter. Oh, look at this. There's a lot of feeling in this, Terry.
It certainly is, Peter. It's been a game that it started at the outset with the surprise of Carey going into the centre square to break the tag that Dean Wallace went out there to apply to him, and the vigour was always in it, and North Melbourne got 2 very quick goals, and Carey was the instigator to it. He took everything that was thrown at him, but Essendon, to their credit, have been able to come back, be able to rein the North Melbourne lead in, and only trailing now by some 4 points, give themselves a very, very good chance to be able to go on in the second quarter of this match.
Wayne Carey, the main goal scorer on the ground to date. He has 2, while for Essendon, 4 players all have singles. So it's quarter time here at Waverley Park in an excellent contest. North are leading 4-8-32 to Essendon 4-4-28.
Kick off your Sunday with Sports World. Join Bruce McAvaney and the team as they look at the world of sports.
Quarter time here at Waverley. North Melbourne 4-8-32. Essendon 4-4-28 to the boundary line. Here's Dipper.
Thanks very much, Danny. Well, I hope the people at home can appreciate this. Every tackle, every shepherd down is 100%, and what a great quarter of football by both clubs there. Now, Sheedy was on the boundary line even before the siren had sounded. He went up to his players, told all the players to run in, and David Whedon had a little bit to say to the Essendon players as well, as he does often. And Pagel, he had plenty to say to his teammates, because the thing he said to them is, in front of goal, you've got to kick goals. You just got to kick goals in the 90s, boys, and that's what his message was in that quarter.
Dipper, who's your selection, quickly?
North Melbourne by 3 goals.
All right, let's have a look at the stats, boys, and see what tale they tell, Terry, courtesy of Mitsubishi Motors.
Sandy, North Melbourne have taken control there with the kicks, and that is their style of play. They do look to be able to have a very quick spin of the ball in the midfield and then use the ball long into what they've got a very good marking forward line.
So into the second quarter. 4 points the margin. Schenko gets a big run at the ball and Somerville. It's left to Ricky Olorenshaw. Had a pretty good first quarter with a couple of timely touches. Schwass had an excellent first term. He gives it to Blakey. Proppy hand pass in towards the middle is good. It finds Armstrong. Off he goes to Dean Laidley. Wide to the outer side, and here comes Long John Longmire, the horse. 80 metres out. Low pass is a beauty to Wayne Carey. I think pop pass, Mr. Wallace said, yes, it's me.
Just to let him know he's around.
That's it.
2 very early goals. And a chance to add to that.
Don't go over, Dustin.
Crowd has built up quite considerably. Carey trying to guide it back. And he does. 3 goals to Wayne Carey.
That was the start, obviously, Dennis Pagan was looking for, but I feel for Dustin Fletcher there. I thought he'd done a very good job in the latter part of the first quarter in being able to rein Wayne Carey in, and that's not the start that Dustin Fletcher wanted. But what a great relationship between these 2 forwards of North Melbourne. John Longmire and Wayne Carey. Longmire goes forward, Carey goes back, and they were able then to set it up as if Longmire was centre forward and Carey full forward.
So North Melbourne by 10 points. And Longmire is moving particularly well up the ground as it's flicked back by Somerville. Here's John Blakey, and a terrific acquisition for North Melbourne. Here's Fletcher. Should have been against Carey then, I felt, as we see Scott and Chris Danaher. Tries to get out to Simons. It's a free kick. I think it's going the way of Michael Simons. Taken a great mark in the first term. Over to Fletcher. Son of Kenny Fletcher, former great wingman. Here's Mark Fraser. Ricky Olorenshaw dodges that tackle. Good play, Olorenshaw. Brings it in towards the centre of the ground. Barry Young's moving well. Looks as though he's set for a fine season, Barry Young, as he brings it in towards half forward. Hurd underneath, thumped away by the North Melbourne defence. Here's Joe Masiti. Back to Ricky Olorenshaw. The chip pass is on. It's an ordinary kick. It allowed Trent Nichols in, but socket off the ground by Mark Roberts. Now it's Nichols racing after it towards centre wing. Armstrong's behind. Barry Young giving chase. Good play by Young. He kept the pressure on. Did he give away a free kick? He did to Armstrong. And it's a free kick to the former to Troy Centerman, way out on centre wing.
This is good work by Barry Young all the way up until that free kick. Let himself down, unfortunately.
Blakey in the middle. Been an excellent player too. In towards half forward. Carey again. Supreme athlete. Marks outside 50. Goes in towards full forward. Oh, what? Did he get a ride? One behind. Been a great start by Wayne Schwass.
I think it's David King on the phone, is it?
Yes, just taking a call.
He's taking the chase out here onto the wing a little bit earlier. Fraser got up off the ground a little bit quicker than what King did, and I think that's what he'd be bringing home to that player there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dennis Pagan wouldn't miss it, that's for sure. Very highly regarded coach. Now, here's Mark Roberts. Peter Somerville comes from the side and thumps it back towards Buick, and the little row ready to rover allows it to roll to the line. It's a real finals-type atmosphere here, a terrific atmosphere. The crowd has really built up. It didn't look all that huge around about 8 o'clock. There's Glenn Archer, who went off early with a twisted ankle. Now, Peter Somerville, a big year for him, an important year for him, as he gets it to Masiti, straight up in the air, back in the direction of the boundary line, and floats over the line, and it will be a free kick to Blakey. Off he goes, John Blakey. He's normally a long kick. He brings it in towards the direction of Carey. Up goes Tim Darcy, the only one who really set himself for it. He took a good mark.
Slotted into the Essendon defence. finding Joe Mercedes.
That's it.
Sandy, might be nearly time for Salmon to come out and have a run. And that example there, Essendon have just got nowhere to go. North Melbourne are really manning them up in the midfield.
Yes, he had to go back to Somerville, who's gone wide to the outer side, and David Grenvold. A little bit of space, but not a lot. To centre wing, Fraser. Down to half forward, Martin trying desperately to stay in touch with Cummings, does it pretty well. Scholl takes the hand pass. Bumps it back over the middle once again. Back towards Carey and Fletcher. Somerville waits behind. Brings it right across ground towards Ola Renshaw. Goes on to the left foot. Kicks it out in front of Buick, but it's not a good enough kick. Blakey takes the mark. Careful.
It's 50.
John Blakey comes down to the 50-metre line now.
Well, it gives him a shot at goal now, so you just can't afford it, can you?
Here's the mark. No, Darren, he wasn't off. Come back.
You could hear the umpire say, no, Darren, he wasn't off.
No closer. David.
He's going to be kicking from probably 55, Blakey. Goes fairly close to the man on the mark, starts it right. Bends it back, but not enough.
Players can debate the umpire's decision as much as they like, Sandy, but it's nothing until the umpire calls it. Whatever he says, it is.
And there's big Paul Salmon doing the stretches. It's James Hird down and there on the back line now. Gives it to Mark McCurry. McCurry chips it in short. Here's David Calthorpe. Oh, he's coming through the centre of the ground. Good play by Calthorpe. That's down the ground. He's flattened as he kicked it. And it's a free kick to the Bombers. And you can see that ball hold up in the breeze. So North definitely kicking with the breeze.
No, back here.
He's going to bring it back. Or is he going to play it down the ground?
No, back here.
He's bringing it.
Kicked it.
He's going to take it back to where he kicked it from. I thought he was flattened after he kicked it. Well, let's have a look. He kicks it. And well, flattened as he kicked it. No, maybe umpire's right there.
He's got to leave the ground anyway with the blood streaming from that nose. Straight off to receive attention.
Well, we see plenty of that these days. As soon as any sign of blood, they're off.
The blood rule. Blood rule. Hang on.
You
Hang on.
hear the umpire talking about the blood rule, so there's plenty of blood in that nose at the moment. So it'll be a change for the Bombers. And the Michael Pryor, former East Perth player, will be coming on. And he is on the ground. But I noticed that kick really held up in the breeze, so it might have strengthened a little bit. So here's Mark McCurry kicking it wide. Hird, who was down a full back a moment ago, is that a free kick against him? Advantage paid to Laidley. Laidley kicks wide and just bounces before the line and over on centre wing.
Essendon looking for a little bit of height in the forward line. Looks to have moved Dustin Fletcher down there because Dean Wallace has dropped back onto Carey. No, Hird's gone to Carey. They've just rolled back over there. So Hird to centre half back on Carey, Fletcher to centre half forward.
And Keenan Reynolds coming on for Danilchenko for North Melbourne.
Throw. Dead set throw by Campbell.
Fraser to take it on the outer side. Still a long way from home. Kicks up towards a congested half-forward zone. Reynolds in the thick of things after just coming on. Ola Renshaw onto the left foot. Brings it back for Cockatoo Collins. Plays on quickly around his body and he goes.
Well, the Bombers doing very well to hang in there. It looked a couple of times as if North were getting away. They've had most of the play in this term. 6 points the margin. The Somerville gets it to ground. Here's Buick. Hooks it out very, very quickly to Ricky Ola Renshaw. He's getting plenty of touches. Up in the air, here's Keenan Reynolds, the former Bulldog, gets whacked across the head as he knocked it away. Here's Dean Wallace racing away, an ordinary looking kick as he stumbled as he kicked it out towards the boundary line, and over it goes. Shea Cockatoo Collins on screen has kicked 2 for the Bombers. Wayne Carey has kicked 3 for North. And there's Scott Cummings looking on. Mickey Martin does not give his opponent too many touches. Very rarely beaten, too high. on Anthony Stevens. Advantage paid as the handball comes out to Blakey. Blakey kicks to the wide open spaces. Here's Dean Laidley. Oh, he can run up to Paddock here. One bounce. Will he go again? No, he won't. He brings it in towards half forward. He's looking for those forwards, and there's big Alex Ashenko coming across in front of Carey. Ashenko, well, he's 55 metres out. He doesn't think he can make it. He's looking for the short one. Now he sets it up high. It starts to float back towards the square. The high flies, another great mark to Michael Simons.
Away he comes to Olarencho in the back pocket in front of Stevens. And the 50 favour has been returned. But in a very different part of the ground.
Simons is very strong overhead, Terry, isn't he?
It's tremendous. I mean, in the last line of defence, they're still having the confidence in his skill to be able to get up there and take those sort of marks. That's what will give Essendon a real chance if they remain confident and aggressive in the game.
Olarencho's kick seemed to sit for a moment in the breeze. Blakey gets a little toe poke and then pushes over the line. Throw in on centre wing. Roberts and Wallace to contest. Wallace front spot, running down Mercedes. The ball was touched, so Grenvold's going to have to play on. He wobbles it down towards the forward line, only as far as Rock, who comes back wide, but quite accurately to Armstrong. Matthew Armstrong settling into North's running style. Somerville comes across to do the ruck work. Shenko may have to leave the ground shortly. He's got blood on that left eye. Trent Nichols from centre wing. Up towards half forward. Somerville who dropped back. Belts it down. Mercedes again. Clears up towards centre wing. A bit of pushing and shoving there going up against Fletcher. This is Keenan Reynolds. Playing on quickly. Trying to gather it on the half volley was Ashenko. Did it pretty well to Armstrong. He wobbles one towards full forward. Not a well-directed kick. Darcy couldn't hold it. Denham gives it away to Hurd. One moment shooting for goal, the next moment in defence. Pushes out wide in front of Young. Oh, clever flick back to Fraser. He's quick, this boy. Away he comes. In towards the centre, and Olarencho takes it on the chest. He wants to get on with the job. Time ticking away for the Bombers as they close the gap. Again, he gets underneath the ball as he tries to pull it back. There were three of them there. No one able to take the mark. Reynolds' hand pass is going to be effective. And North Melbourne through Scholl come away over the centre.
Well, here's Mickey Martin trying to press his way through, but taken by Grenvold. That was great play. A long kick in towards half forward. Keenan Reynolds went for the punch. Here's Lou Fatt. Gets in a hand pass. Well done. It's taken away by Robert Scott. A quick hand pass over the top. He finds Laidley and the North runners backing each other up as they come through half back. Here's Dean Laidley. A long kick down towards centre wing, and the mark taken by Martin Roberts. A hand pass further field to Campbell. Campbell, the kick towards half forward. It races onto the ball. Longmire's down there, way out at half forward. Here's Anthony Stevens, gets in a hand pass. Alex Ashenko tries to knock it on. Schwass kicked away from him. Back towards Armstrong. The chip passes on. A beautiful kick. He finds John Longmire. Longmire, 55 from goal. Here's a good kick. Let's see what he can do. He was looking for the short one to Carey. Now he's going back to have the shot at goal. It's a good-looking drop punt. Will it clear the pack? It will, but a little bit to the left and one behind only. And Longmire moving exceptionally well out around half foot as Warren Campbell comes off the ground.
Blood rules on, got to wait for Alex to get
Yes,
off.
the move being made for King. Now, I mentioned that Ashenko had a problem bleeding from the face, and Tim Darcy's going to have to wait for a moment. So the time has come for Paul Salmon also. Dusted Fletcher off. Now let's catch up on some of these happenings. Here's Dipper.
Thanks very much, Sandy. David Calford, unfortunately, has a broken nose, and Paul Salmon has just come onto the ground.
Go back.
Back to Tim Darcy we go again.
Okay.
Bad luck for David Calthorpe. Broken nose or not, he's going to be back out on the ground, replacing Lufak, while Hurd marks on the outer side.
Play on! Cross mark.
Swings play in towards the leaper Simons. Doesn't let him go. He strides away from the centre. Kick let him down perhaps just a little, although the bounce may favour Calthorpe. Now you've just run into a broken nose. Don't cop something else. Cockatoo Collins on the boundary line. Shows absolute skill. He gives it to Simons. Simons will step pass in towards full forward. A worm burner towards Barry Young, who threw it out to Simons, who may goal. Oh, the Bombers are back.
Great play. Well, what a game we're seeing. A point the margin. North Melbourne lead, but the Bombers will not lie down. They keep coming back into this slight breeze, and here they come again. As we see Darren Buick on the left foot. McMartin back with a flight. He drops it. A chance for the Bombers as it's tapped down. They race in after it. Mark McCurry goes to ground. He had the ball, and Laidley holds it to him. And the umpire sensibly will bounce 20 metres out. And there's the big Russian, Alex Sashenko, who had a trickle of blood a moment ago. Sandy Roberts picked up from up here in the commentary box, which was a great effort. Salmon gets it down to Cockatoo Collins. Up in the air it goes towards the square, and it's Keenan Reynolds races back and then hooks it out wide towards the wide open spaces, and it rolls and rolls and rolls over the line.
Just over 9 minutes remaining as Campbell receives some attention. But an excellent contest, this one. Salmon, delighted to be on the ground, palms it down with the left, but it goes straight to Robert Scott. Over the top goes Nichols. Not a good one. Trying to intercept was Joe Mercedes. Nichols again towards centre wing. This time Carey caught behind. Peter Somerville says to James Hird, well done, you might have been a bit stiff not to get a free kick. What do you think, Terry?
He was. I mean, he's got to remain in front at all times with the height disadvantage he has over Wayne Carey, and if he's prepared to take that, I think the umpire should look a little bit more favourably towards him. Wallace trying to get round Roberts. Armstrong did it extremely well, just flicking it across. Carey again gives chase, but runs out of room.
Well, what a clash that'll be for the rest of the game. If they stay on each other, Terry, two really talented players.
Very athletic players, and I'd like James to be able to continue with his high leaping and be able to take Wayne Carey on in the air. That'd be a great contest.
James Hird, best and fairest out at Windy Hill last year. Wayne Carey's already won a few best and fairest. He was third last season. There's his opponent coming away. Now Danaher drifting it in towards Cockatoo Collins. Was in front but couldn't complete the mark. Ricky Olorenshaw helps him out. Back to Danaher again. Looks slim and fit. Calthorpe on centre wing. Playing with that broken nose. Goes in towards the centre and finds Joe Mercedes. Mercedes wide. Again to Danaher. Just throwing it round in a triangle. Waiting for an opportunity to arise. Buick stripped it down towards half forward. Now runs the flank and pushes in towards Denham. A former Cat with the Bombers. And joining him, another former Cat, Tim Darcy. Denham. All aces covered. Oh, Simons. Young was taken high, but I was still watching Simons floating down. He's unbelievable.
That was great play by Young, Terry, to tear in like that, wasn't it?
He's been very aggressive, and last week's game against Fitzroy, he had that ability about himself too. Kicked 3 goals. You know, he's slotted very well into this side after some 50-odd games at Richmond, and this goal will give Essendon a great run into the second half.
It'll also give them the lead.
Just what they want after a very solid half of football.
For the first time in the match. Barry Young just checking that as the mark. Well, started out at St Arnaud, cropping country. Straight through the middle, the Bombers hit the front.
Well, there's Barry Young, who kicked a very good goal there because he put his body on the line and went in hard after it. And the coach should be pleased to see that, Kevin Sheedy, because in the past he has tended to play the man a little bit too much. Masiti on the left foot, down towards Young, kept his eyes on the ball. Fraser knocks it onto Calthorpe, and Denham ran into a brick wall. Here's David Calthorpe again, on to Peter Somerville, who's doing fairly well. Somerville over the top, and it's a free kick going the way of, it's going North Melbourne's way against Salmon, the umpire is saying, and I think it's Armstrong to take it. No, it's not. It's King. Down wide towards Carey, and the diving Carey marks way out at half forward. Now there are leads coming in towards the pocket. That's a beautifully placed kick. Oh, he couldn't quite get there, Longmire. Darcy, oh, that's good play to Darcy to go to the boundary line, but Longmire caught. Now Darcy. He's going for the hand pass inside. That's good play to Joe Mercedes. Mercedes back towards the high leaping Simons. He's looking around. What's he going to do? He's caught. Gets in a hand pass. Back up support from Darcy. Now Mercedes, and Joe Mercedes quite happy to let it roll over the line.
Mercedes 14 possessions to this stage of the game. He's been one of the players off the half-back line that's really got Essendon right back into this contest and now leading.
Under 6.5 minutes remaining. Wallace drifts across in front of Roberts to do the ruck work. Simons comes over the top. Well, he's been around for a while, but he looks very, very exciting tonight. Leaping. Has Kevin Sheedy given him maybe a license to perhaps be a little more liberal in his game? Denham in front of Stevens for a moment, long enough to see it over the line. 16 scoring shots to 11, but it is Essendon with 11 who leads by 5 points. Roberts again, front spot, down towards Stevens, in towards half forward. Somerville up with the one hand, couldn't take the mark. Hurd at the bottom is able to get it out. Essendon can start something here with Mercedes. Somerville gives it back towards Mercedes, caught by Robert Scott. Gets it away to James Hurd. Over the top he goes to Grenville. They'll get out of trouble. Up towards Salmon, who comes sprinting out towards centre wing and crashes into the pack.
Coming up with a message.
Dean Laidley, I don't think, appreciated the way he did crash into the pack. So a throw in. Almost down to centre wing. Bombers, slender leaders. That ball is held.
Nothing there. Let him go.
Dead right. Nothing there. Matty Armstrong picks himself up.
Back out.
Roberts and Wallace. He ran straight at him.
Back there, you went straight. Right on, mate.
So Roberts to send North into attack again. A floater towards half forward. Oh, here's danger. Stevens. Couldn't take it, Hurd, but look at him on all fours, battling so hard. A snap again is high, but it's away to the left and through for one behind.
James Hurd works hard, doesn't he?
He certainly does, and at both ends of the ground, obviously. And David Cloak, past champion of Richmond and of Collingwood football clubs and coach of Port Melbourne.
No longer.
No longer. He wised up too.
Shane Malloy is coaching Port Melbourne, former Fitzroy player and father of Jared Malloy. And there's Hurd. Looks as though they might have Hurd on hand. They wouldn't want to lose James Hurd, the Bombers. Here's Mark Fraser at half-back. Oh, actually more towards the full-back area after that short kick in. He gives it over to Barry Young. Young has a bounce. Oh, he's got plenty of confidence tonight, Young. He's playing very, very well, and it's a very good kick way out towards centre wing because it went to the line, and I think the Bombers would be quite happy with that as Shea Cockatoo Collins couldn't quite get there. Number 9 for the Bombers is kick 2, Dustin Fletcher, about to come on the ground shortly. So the ball at half forward for North.
You're right, Hurd is in trouble with the left hand.
Oh, that's really bad luck as we see Stevens try to get his boot to it. Taken away by Buick after receiving from Denham. The Bombers look pretty quick. The kick up the ground here, I think, to the Essendon. So this is handy. Ricky Renshaw has got it. Way out at half forward. He's got to move it quickly. He kicks it up high. Salmon can't quite get there, and it's a big thump away by Keenan Reynolds. And Craig Scholl quite happy to see it go over the line. There's Hurd. Now, let's see if he's going to stay on.
Left hand.
Yes, the left hand, he's flexing it, but at this stage he might be staying on, and that's good news.
Yes, well, they've just made one change. Wallace was the player come off. It's going to be a very short spell for him on the bench, I can assure you. That kick goes down into towards the forward line. Blakey on the last line of defence. Has Armstrong on the other side. Look out. Fraser make sure he goes nowhere, but in doing so, Rock is alone. He misses him. Instead, pinpoints Stevens, running through half-back. Suddenly, they go up towards the half-forward line, and Carey and Longmire. The runner's waiting down Roberts, but the whistle has sounded. It's got to come back.
Give it back, give it back, give it back. Thanks. Come back round where you were. Come round.
Cook handed.
Bit of a shove.
James.
Well, probably would have marked it but for the shove, wouldn't he?
That's fair enough too. I think all players should have equal opportunity to mark the ball, and Wayne Carey definitely interfered there with James Hird.
3.5 minutes remaining. Goes wide towards Grenville, playing in front of Rock on this occasion. Centering kick, Masidi. Goes on with the job now. Long and low, up towards the half-forward line. Mark McCurry came charging out. Defending was Matty Capuano. Now Smith hurriedly towards Armstrong. He's got to give a little ground to Michael Martin. Brings it back in towards the centre. And Rock, besides taking the mark, caught one. Now that could be a costly 50 right in the middle, Joe Masidi. Because it's going to bring him inside 50. Well inside 50.
Well, he'd marked the ball, hadn't he?
Certainly had. He'd clearly taken the ball, and Joe just kept coming a little bit too far.
Well, it's all right to have a show of strength, but that is rather foolish. It'll cost your side a goal, maybe.
Stay there, fellas.
So let's see what he does. Directly in front.
North Melbourne in front by 2 points after that penalty. 50 metres to Rock. There's Stevens. Long hand pass to Allison. Looking for Roberts. Taken away by Dustin Fletcher. It's an ordinary kick. Well, you can't afford those skill errors as you see Anthony Rock around the corner towards half forward. A show of strength. Grinbold gets it to ground. It's shuffled further afield. This is Barry Young to Chris Danaher. On to Somerville. Peter Somerville, a high floater in towards Salmon. Up go the arms. He can't take the mark. Kelthorpe and Laidley. They race for it out towards the boundary line, and it beats them. Well, it's halfway between centre wing area and half forward, and that is for Essendon, of course. We saw a shot of the nose of David Kelthorpe a moment ago, and it is pretty enlarged. We've been told it's broken.
Alex Oshenko's back out on the ground, by the way. He is wearing Guernsey number 31.
Right.
Throw in once again.
I'm glad you said that, because I thought Corey McKernan had put on a lot of weight. Sandy?
Well, they've of course still got Corey to come back. Ian Fairley, another one, still injured.
Hang it on, your ball, Chris.
Darren Crocker.
Play on.
Calthorpe called to play on. Caught him a little unaware as he ran out of room. Well done by Keenan Reynolds. Trapped it and then got the hand pass away to Roberts off the shoal. Here's big Alex. Through his fingers. Carey gives him good backup support. Does it beautifully. Away he sprints. From 60 metres he heads for home. It's swinging back. Darcy's got to get there. It bounces through. Oh, showtime here at Waverley.
And that's what being a captain's all about, being able to get his side back onto the track, and what an inspirational player Wayne Carey is, not only for North Melbourne Football Club, but for any football supporter. The contest there from Oshenko, but then Carey decides to take them all on himself. The pace for a man of his size, steadies from well outside 50 to the vacant goal square and bounces it through. Great work, captain.
So David Kelthorpe, who we mentioned has a broken nose and could possibly still be bleeding. So 8 points they lead by North. 4 goals to Carey as Masidi gets it out the centre. North are very strong in defence. Laidley, further field to King, now Keenan Reynolds. Reynolds, a beautiful kick on the left boot. Onto Armstrong, here's danger. The lead is on by Longmire. He waits for the bounce. Darcy will be happy to see this go to the line, and he lets it roll over.
And Terry, North again able to take advantage of just the last couple of minutes of a vital quarter.
They have been able to do that. That's the crucial stage of each quarter, particularly going into half-time with such a close game. That work there just across half-back was very polished by North Melbourne.
Mark Roberts takes it out of that ruck contest. Fletcher, or was that deliberate? No. The North Melbourne supporters appealing for it. Fletcher, very, very tall. He's played most of his football at fullback and has done the job very, very well too. There's Carey doing ruck work. Trent Nichols gets his boot to it. Umpire calls play on. Chris Danaher, socket off the ground by Stevens. Back towards Barry Young. A long hand pass finds James Hird. Hird transfers play here. If it doesn't come off, they'll be in trouble. Oh, the loose ball is with Swash. Swash goes wide with a hand pass. Scholl around the corner to half forward, hoping someone could take a mark, and someone is there. It's Mark Roberts. So are North going to get another one, Terry?
I think they could very well do it here, Peter. They've got players running very hard through the midfield. If we had frozen the game just then, there was only one pair of players, Stevens and Blakey. Simons and Blakey, sorry, the only players in the Essendon forward line, whereas North Melbourne are totally on the run.
Well, the siren's about to sound. There it is. So what a handy kick this will be if he can put it through. Mark Roberts, normally a great kick from 50 metres. He lets fly with a booming drop putt right through the middle of the North. So the ruck rover right on half-time has kicked the goal. And a very valuable 5 minutes. We see David Keltop with that broken nose. Valuable couple of minutes here to North, Terry.
It certainly was, Peter, at the 20-minute mark that Essendon came back and took the lead, but then North Melbourne responded with the last 3 goals. Carey instrumental in some of them, Mark Roberts just there, but generally it's been their work through the midfield. I was very impressed with Essendon, the way they fought their way back. A little bit concerned about Hird going to centre-half back because they haven't had an option at half-forward since that particular move, but all set now for a great second half, Sandy.
Yes, it certainly is, Terry. At half-time, North Melbourne hitting back hard late in the term, 8-12-60. The Bombers, 7-4-46.
Coming soon, 4 quarters. A Friday night footy extravaganza with Sandy Roberts, Wayne Carey, Tim Watson and the team. Only on 7.
Half-time here at Waverley and a thriller. North hitting back late in the term with a couple of very, very timely goals. 8-12-60, leading by 14 points. The Bombers, who hit the lead during that term, kicked 3 straight. They are 7-4-46. Standing next to me, or sitting next to me, is a postman who'd dearly love to be out there. You can't even ride the bike now because of this, Ian Fairley.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things that happen in footy, Sandy, you know, and you got to take the good with the bad. I've been lucky over the years. I haven't had many injuries, so you know, like I said, I'll take the good for the bad.
And it's tough, isn't it? You're a postie by trade, but what, you can't hold the handle of the bike, obviously.
No, I can't hold the handle of the bike, but they've been good about it. They've given me a few weeks off work while I get it right, and you know, they've been great, yeah.
But the good news is you can still hold a fishing rod.
Yeah, I can still hold a fishing rod. I can put it in the butt of the hand, and it's all right, yeah.
On a serious note, back in time for the start of the home and away?
Hopefully, I've got to see the surgeon again Friday, so see what he says. Yeah. I've got a couple of pins in there which might have to be removed, so hopefully I'll be right for the first game, but you know, if the boys keep winning, it might be hard to get in there.
Well, you're nudging the 200. I guess it'd be really lovely to play every game this year because you go very, very close. I think you're in 174, 175. Yeah. A senior player now. You seem to have really grabbed the added responsibility in the last couple of years. Did you take a good hard look at yourself?
Well, I thought to myself, well, I didn't want to sit back after I finished playing football and thought, well, I could have done that and I could have done this. I just wanted to give it to my best shot, and yeah, maybe early on in my career I did stuff around a bit and went the wrong way a few times, but I think I've settled down a lot in the last few years, and I've really given my best shot, got myself fit, and for sure the postie job helps me because I'm exercising every day.
You're in a pretty elite group too, aren't you? Didn't you kick 3 goals with your first 3 kicks in?
Yeah, that was a while ago now, and I was a forward in those days, but yeah, I did kick 3 goals in my first 3 kicks, yeah.
Do you have a preference, forward or back?
No, look, I'm just like the old cliche, I'm happy to get a game, you know what I mean, but I don't mind having a run down there, but in the back line, I suppose it's a bit easier because you can go straight ahead, and you can read the game a bit better, because in the forward line, if you don't kick a couple of goals, you get shifted straight away. Whereas in the back line, it's a bit easier to do a job, but it's still a concentration game in the back line, and you really got to concentrate hard on your job.
I think you started under coach, what was it, Barry Cable? You've seen a few come and go. Do you admire Dennis Pagan's professionalism that he's brought to the club?
Well, yes, I think Dennis is a very professional person, and his professionalism has really shone through with a few of the guys, and I think that's probably one of the major reasons we've turned around a lot. I think the guys have, they've got a spare half an hour, they'll go down to the club and do some weights or whatever, just little things that are going to make the team better. So I think that's one thing Dennis has had influence on.
You and Ross Smith, another of the veterans, do you sit back and say, by gee, these young pups are coming along now and really putting pressure on you? But does that sort of keep you going and push you along?
Yeah, well, it's good at the club now. Being a bit older, you can sort of lead a bit by example and sort of show the younger guys the right way to go about things. And I enjoy that bit of responsibility. Yeah.
Ian, we certainly hope that things come good as far as the hand is concerned, and you're right for the first of the home and aways. And if not, I hope they're biting.
No worries, Sandy.
Good on you. Ian Fairley joining us here on our coverage tonight. Let's go down to the rooms, because Dipper is down there in Bomberland. What news do you have, Dipper?
Yeah, thanks very much, Sandy. There was plenty of words said down here. It's all by the players. It was the last 3 or 4 minutes. They weren't happy with that form there, because they were up to North Melbourne. The last 2 or 3 minutes, they allowed them to kick those easy goals. Sheedy's had him in the room already, and he's let him out just to have a bit of a breather, and soon he'll be taken back in to have another word to the players. And David Whelan at the back's having a few words to say to some of the players, and some of the things around here just don't change. There's some of the words on the wall: aggression at the ball, playing fours, and that's what footy's all about, Sandy.
Yes, I know. I reckon you've got the itch again, Dipper. Anyway, we'll take a break. Be back with more shortly.
Touring car action from Bathurst, Sunday, March 12, right here on 7 Sports.
The winner of tonight's clash goes on to meet St Kilda. At the moment, it is North Melbourne leading by 14 points. And interestingly enough, Stan Alves has the entire St Kilda team here tonight, dressed in casuals. It's half-time of this game, and he is addressing the St Kilda senior squad. There you can see Stuart Lowe, hands on his chin, listening to Stan Alves and what he has to say. So a sight that you don't often see as St Kilda prepare for their next game. Well, Terry, I've got to say, at the start of the night, I think we said, have a feeling we might be in for a crackerjack game.
And
haven't been let down, have we?
No, we haven't. We had a great game of football here. Sandy, we made the point earlier that there's not much that distinguishes between a normal home and away game of football and this one, and this opened up in some great fashion. Wayne Carey and Dean Wallace. Wallace went out, I would assume, with the specific instructions of being able to take Carey on physically.
Incidentally, well picked. You did it, didn't you?
We called it early, and Carey responded magnificently. He's kicked the first 2 goals. Wallace, not to be denied, I mean, that's his strength, and he needs to be able to stand up and take them on there. But then Essendon were able to weather that early storm, and Ola Renshaw, a very good player in the first half, finds Mark Fraser here, who does slot this goal through. And there were some little signs there at that stage that Essendon were able to perhaps steady the ship just a little bit. North Melbourne again came back. Their midfield is extremely good. So many options. We have Robert Scott in amongst that, Armstrong, but then it was Rock over here centering the ball. Great contest here, and I have no problems with the 2 big fellows, North Melbourne clashing there when you've got someone of the calibre of Trent Nichols underneath. And he slotted the goal through very well. And then one of the key players for the Essendon side has been James Hurd. He opened at centre half forward, and he was really able to show all the skills that he's got. This mark that he comes up here with a great jump, kept his feet as he came to ground, and was then able to take on the opposition, run onto 50 and slot it through. And he was a real focal point for them. But Sheedy had his problems at that stage, because Carey had taken Wallace to town, so to speak, Sandy, and Hurd ended up playing back in the back line for Essendon. But Longmire and Carey, they just continued on.
Terry, did you get the feeling that Essendon may really had to work considerably harder to get their score on the board than North Melbourne did?
I think that's what has me favour North Melbourne at this stage for the game, Sandy. I mean, North Melbourne have had some 20 shots a goal, Essendon only 11, and everything that Essendon has done, they had to really struggle for. And this goal here from Shea Cockatoo Collins is another example of that. It didn't flow into the forward line, it scrapped around through some contests. Yes, the Essendon boys were sharp with their hands, but it hasn't flowed at all. And then we had another flyer, Simons. He did it in the back line earlier. This time he was in the forward line in the swap with Hurd. Barry Young gets on the end of a free kick and puts Essendon back there and gives them the real chance there, and actually gave them the lead at that particular stage, and rightfully gives Keenan Reynolds an earful. But then North Melbourne came back 3 goals in 5 minutes, and it was this man here, Wayne Carey, the captain of the side, finishing him off at half-time.
Yeah, wonderful goal, that one. Team lifting goal, and Wayne Carey says, how's that, boys? Couldn't be unhappy with it as we check the Mitsubishi Motors match stats. Try saying that quickly.
Very quickly. And we see that the possessions are pretty well even right throughout. They're 140 odd to 160. Essendon perhaps playing around with them a little bit more. They're 43 marks and more chip marks than some of the powerful stuff that North Melbourne's doing in their forward line. All in all, Sandy, we've got a great game set here at half-time, and the second half should be a real clinker.
Yes, looking forward to it. Dipper was pretty nifty in his playing days. Well, he's moved very quickly now because he's gone from the Bomber rooms to the North Melbourne rooms. Dipper?
Thanks, Sandy. Well, the players have just gone into the rooms, and prior to that, Dennis Pagan just walked around, talked to his players. The feeling down here was just a little bit calmer than the Essendon rooms, and they know there's a second half to be played. And what a great game we've seen, as you guys have just mentioned. On the boundary line, you can feel every tackle and every shepherd. It's 100% for these players, and they should be congratulated, because they know up for stakes is a great grand final to play in. And Terry Wheeler did say before that if you think players aren't fair again, we'll just watch tonight's game. I see the game as a game of matchups. I mean, most coaches I might make 2 or 3 changes off the bench, but Pagan already has made 13 changes. Every time Sheedy makes a change, so does Dennis. So we expect a lot more of that as well.
Yes, and looking forward to a big second half. We'll be back after the break, and I hope that you'll be with us. Essendon first back out on the ground with Brian Wood. North Melbourne are also back out. Let's have a look at some of the individual performers, Terry, in the first half, firstly from North.
And it's that man at the top of the list, Wayne Carey, Sandy. I mean, he's been a very dominant player. 10 kicks and 6 very strong marks with 4 goals. He has been. Armstrong has been a very good contributor. He really has given an extra dimension to the midfield of the North Melbourne, and it's now not as easy to shut down such a very fine engine room, and Anthony Stevens is another one of those. John Longmire's returning to some very good form at full forward. He's looked very threatening right throughout the evening with 6 marks, and Mark Roberts contributed a very fine goal right on the half-time siren break to give them a good lead at that break. In Essendon, they have been tossing the ball around a lot. I think they haven't had a real focal point at centre-half forward, but Ricky Olorenshaw, Joe Masidi have worked extremely hard, both from the wing and the half-back flank, respectively. James Hurd at centre-half forward initially, and then at centre-half back onto Carey, has been a very good player and quite prepared to go for his marks right throughout. And Shea Cockatoo Collins has bit in and out of the game, picked up 2 goals, but I guess that's more the aspect of the game as a half-forward flanker. But at the end of the day, he does need to be able to weigh in with at least 4 in that type of a situation.
The margin at quarter time was 4 points. At half time, 14. So just about set to go in the second half. Good crowd in attendance at Waverley tonight. And believe it or not, 2 inches of rain fell here yesterday. So it's a credit to the staff and the drainage. 60 plays 46. Second half. The Bombers wanting the first one. Salmon whips it over the top. Flicked up towards half forward, and the mark taken by Cockatoo Collins. Kick coming from Michael Pryor. Cockatoo Collins, long way out. Into half forward. Martin comes over the top of Cummins and fists away. Waiting down was Lufat. Martin does well. Gives it to Keenan Reynolds. Their defence tightly knit. This is Stevens. Back towards half-back, and Robert Scott, second attempt. Takes the mark in front of Pryor. Plays on now back to Stevens. In towards Carey. With him is Hurd. It spills free. Here are the runners. Trent Nichols. Out of the middle he bursts. Blasting it down towards Longmire. Has it on the half volley, then lost it. Needs support. He wheels around, but he gets caught. And well caught. Sean Denham first to it. Had a great year last year. Gives it back to Dustin Fletcher. Has got to give a little ground. Dangerously so. But Danaher takes the mark.
Gee, that had to be spot on. We found Chris Danaher.
The great part, Peter, was that it was spot on. Good work,
and
Dustin.
That's a good mark by Cockatoo Collins. A difficult diving one. He's taken it. He's kicked 2 goals too. The little half forward. He brings it to centre wing. Oh, big fly by Barry Young. The umpire paid. No, I think he called play on. Armstrong. Further afield to Stevens. Stevens chips it in, and the mark has been taken by Brett Allison over the back. too far out to score, I would suggest. He's got to kick it from about 57 metres. Brett Allison, a long kick. He's looking for someone to lead. He's ignoring the leads and bring it in towards the square. They've got the high flyers there. Carey! Oh, great mark. He just hovered at the back and the big hands went up and bang. And he'll kick from right in front for his 5th.
A great working relationship by the players outside the 50-metre arc, but with Longmire and Carey. Longmire's the one that will lead and lead consistently, therefore just taking that moment's attraction away from the Essendon defenders. Then Carey then got himself a metre, was able to take it and jump very well to take the mark. Well,
he covers so much territory, this man. He's right in front, kicking for his 5th. And what a start the North it'll be.
66 plays 46. 5 to Carey. Ashenko's gone back to his old number 26 Guernsey. Rocked through but lost the football. Doesn't matter. He's got plenty of assistance. That was Ashenko. Kick dropped short to Grenvold. David Grenvold up towards Lufert. Fisted down in front and it's Rock. He's as solid as one. Kicks towards the centre wing and fine defensive work by Michael Pryor. Youngster from East Perth sees it over the line.
Sandy Joe Mercedes there, troubled a little bit by a hamstring perhaps at the middle of the ground.
Throw in on centre wing. Roberts just tries to palm it. Rock is at the bottom, as you would imagine. Fletcher takes it from Buick. Short little kick. Stevens drops a difficult one. Denham round his body. Up towards half forward. Lufert outmanoeuvred on that occasion, but he's going to finish up with a football. Twisting and turning, which way will he go? Into the wide open spaces. North have the numbers. Scholl will be first to it. Flicks it round his body. Oh, put his teammate under pressure, but he was taken high. And he's not going to get a free kick. That was your junkyard dog that copped it. Pete, is that not high?
Yes, right round the neck.
The neck and the knee right onto the coccyx there. It'll be very painful in the morning.
But it has gone the other way. Barry Young has a chance to close the gap. 5 kicks, 3 hand passes, and he's threaded it. Young gets his 2nd. The Bombers fight back. 8-4 plays 9-12.
What will occur in this second half? It's well balanced at this particular stage. Essendon have now started to win a little bit more possession of the ball just here and very aggressive there. I think he was unfortunate the free kick was not paid to Laidley first up. The second one was definitely there for Young and he took advantage of it, kicking his 2nd goal.
And Barry Young, I said earlier, he's been a much better player since he's been concentrating on the ball, aggression at the ball, and he's really starting to become a top player. This is knocked away by Salmon towards Denham. The umpire said he copped it in the back. So Sean Denham, the former Geelong little rover, he's way out towards the centre of the ground. Now, bring it wide towards the half-forward flank area. The Flyers on. Lufert.
Now that
caught high. There's no doubt about that. That was definitely too high. He's probably just without outside kicking distance. He's looking for a short one. So this young player, he's from 55 metres, Sean Lufert, right up towards the square, hoping someone can take a mark, but it's stumped through by the strong North Melbourne defence. And look, he just looks like a little schoolboy, doesn't he?
Lufert right in there and doing very well. The merry-go-round has continued at centre-half back for Essendon. Now with Scott Cummings having gone back to have a go at Wayne Carey. Perhaps Sheedy's just examining some of the options that he may yet be able to use in the regular home and away series.
66 plays 53. Wayne Schwass had an excellent start to this game. Left-footers have done pretty well at Arden Street. They Quinelled their best and fairest. There's a fine mark taken by Dustin Fletcher. Centering to another big man, Paul Salmon. Off he goes to Pryor. In towards full forward. Will they take a mark? Yes. James Hurd. Too good for Armstrong.
Superb use of the body, Terry, then.
And he's the key to this Essendon revival here now. Moving him back to the forward line, I think, has been a much better ploy for the Essendon side. Carey has been unstoppable by most opponents. why not have what is potentially your best centre-half forward in James Hird right there where he belongs?
Kick number 10 coming up. And this for his second goal.
Well, Hird walked up and said to the umpire, is that the mark there? Because Mick Martin had walked 15 metres back from the mark and is going to charge in.
Just a bit of gamesmanship. But we expect that from Mick. Mimicking Mick. Shot by Hird is way across the face. On behind. You've done your job, Mick.
Don't give him an inch. Good man.
8-6 plays 9-12.
Well, the kicking's out in the full, I would think. I think that definitely marked over the line, and it is. So it'll be Mark McCurry to take this kick. The Bombers, well, we've learnt in past seasons, as the short pass comes into Sean Lufett, that they never give up, Essendon. On to Buick. Buick, a high floating kick to the square. The Flyers are there, a stump down in front of the 10-metre square. Here's Rock. Quick hand pass. Oh! Intercepted by Simons, who has taken a couple of miraculous marks, and he put it out on the full. So the Bombers about to make a change, and in that number 18 is the young player Matthew Lloyd from the Western Jets. He'd be pretty excited tonight. Keenan Reynolds, former Bulldog, to bring it back into play.
Reynolds to half-back. Schwartz over the top.
Very quiet second quarter from Wayne Schwartz. Only a couple of possessions, but now coming back.
Yes, did very good work in the first. Carey, the Flyer, 1-2 grabs. The change is being made for Essendon now with the number 18. Of course, Van der Haar's number. Lloyd coming back out onto the ground. Robert Scott ricochets one away. Simons gives the hand pass to Grenbold. He goes inside towards Darcy. Another one further outfield to Cummings. From a standing start on centre wing, he goes up towards half forward. Lufett flies too late. Keenan Reynolds takes the mark. Well spotted for Stevens. Made good ground. Towards half forward, but that one wasn't as good. And Simons chips in to take mark number 5.
Easy. Get out of it.
Simons kick over centre wing. Laidley tidying up at the back just now. Dean, not subtle, but you will get away with it. Nothing up for the Bomber bench. Somewhat injury riddled, particularly as far as noses are concerned. Salmon, but straight to Stevens. Bang! Slams it into Cockatoo Collins. Lufett may make him pay. Off to Buick. Was he held? Yes, said the umpire. Darren Buick still outside 50.
He's still dangerous, the Bombers.
Plays on, and short pass as well. Finds Joe Mercedes. But he's going to be kicking from just outside 50. He too has a good look at where the mark is.
I reckon this is some sort of a drill that David Whedon's got planned, Whedon and Sheedy.
Yeah, I think it's very good technique in that the boys mark the ground, and that actually, they watch that spot on the ground, actually keeps their head over the ball so they're not lifting and disjointing their body on the follow through.
Something we've seen Stuart Lowe.
Yeah, when Peter Hudson started that with St Kilda.
Here's the kick. That's coming back rather nicely. That's a goal.
Well, the margin has been brought back to 6 points in favour of North as Schenko and Salmon. They both missed it. Here's Scott, held to him. Good tackle by Salmon. Salmon again gets it to Joe Mercedes, having a good night. Quick kick to the half forward line. Barry Young's underneath there. It's thumped the ground. Lufett is there. Socket off the ground. Back towards Simons. A quick hand pass finds Denham. Good play, Michael Simons. Denham around the corner. Swashes the Flyer at the back. Buick is there. Now a quick kick by Keenan Reynolds. He lies on top of the ball. Then he flicks it out. Held to Scott. Umpire sensibly calling play on as we see Trent Nichols. He's caught. Enormous pressure out there as players race at the ball. All Pryor went in hard. He's given away a free kick, and that will be to Wade Schwass.
Schwass to half forward. Oh, making excellent ground was Carey. Cummings has got him at the moment. Kick's not so good. Out of bounds on the full. told 6 times to go back 5 metres. Not a good kick on that occasion by Smith from a standing start. Olorenshaw takes the mark. The Bombers persisting, as one would expect them to. Fraser couldn't take it, neither Barry Young, except over the line. The Schross picks up lately. Just over 10 minutes remaining in this intriguing third quarter. No one able to break clear. Smith belts it wide and gains probably 20 metres. Rock running the boundary line, gets caught by Olorenshaw, but he's got plenty of support. It's going to be King who takes it. Now they've got a chance to run. Robert Scott in his new colours goes up towards full forward, and a fine mark taken by John Longmire.
It's a good turn of pace there by Robert Scott, and that's what he would need to continue to work on, being able to break the play up. North Melbourne have got some great players in them, being able to spin the ball around, but someone's got to break up the play with a run. He's the one that did it, and now John Longmire with this shot at goal.
Distance not a problem. He's going to bend it back for behind.
Would have preferred to have seen him perhaps go back and kick that one straight through, Peter. I think there was the goal face was open sufficiently that a well-executed drop punt may have been the better option.
Yes, I thought he might have gone for the set shot there. As you see, Timmy Darcy bring it out again, way out to half-back. It's thumped the ground, knocked further afield. The Bombers will try and desperately get this out. Grenville to Salmon. Salmon to Buick. Buick, oh, Chris Danaher cops it in the back. It'll be a free kick. And Pryor better make sure he doesn't give the ball away here. Now, Chris Danaher sees a loose man out wide, and he's found Scott Cummings. Started the game at full forward. Cummings looking for the speedster in Fraser now. Can he run with it? He gets a cruel bounce. The ball would not sit up for him. And if it had, he might have been off and running, and the ball rolls over the lines. Father was a magnificent player, former captain Kenny Fraser, number 23 for Essendon in the late 50s and 60s. Certainly my idol when I was a kid. Sensational player. Denham in towards half forward, and he's too big. Big Alex Sashenko was Sean Lufat couldn't get near it.
Martin takes it away. Kicks towards centre wing. Rock trying to get a position over Grenville. Well done. Roberts is running. So too Carey. Carey from 52 metres is away again to the right. Umpire Baylash signals wide. Out on the full. Coming on the half-back flank. Good kick to find Sean Denham. Players running everywhere. Essendon trying to open it up. Buick running the boundary line. Will get round to Schenko. Centering kick to Cockatoo Collins. Got a hand to Schross. May have illegally held him. He did, said the umpire.
The last 2 free kicks, I think, have been against Wayne Schross for the North Melbourne side, and you know, he needs to keep in at the ball and ensure he wins possession of the ball rather than being that metre back and being second in.
There's that marking that spot on the ground again, Terry.
Turned 20 last week. Former Port Adelaide player. There's a couple of goals already tonight.
Well, he's obviously going to have a shot for goal. It's a long way out. He'll have to kick it about 58 metres.
That's a longer run than Michael Holdings.
We're going the drop punt.
Yes. Don't go over.
That's some 14 paces. In towards full forward. Do you like that idea, Pete, as a former full forward?
Oh, I think it's a good idea, as Terry said. It keeps the head down and you concentrate on watching the ball onto your boot. But I think he took far too long getting that down to the forward line. He had no hope of kicking that from there.
But the other confusing part for me was that he was so intent on doing that, and Paul Salmon didn't make his way down to the goal square where he could have threatened the North Melbourne defence.
Exactly.
I think if he was going to take that much time, Salmon should have been down there.
Smith finds Scholl, who finds Roberts.
On the 50. Play on.
Who finds Blakey.
Let him go. Let him go. Come back.
Back again to Shaw. Now it's North's turn to try and start something going down the ground, but Salmon is in front. He was also held, and he has the football. The Bombers continue to hang on. Not a good kick by Lloyd. Laidley away to the run of Roberts on the defensive side of centre wing. North's turn now through Anthony Rock. Gets away from Grenvold. A high kick up towards half forward. Not an easy one for Longmire, who was sandwiched between a couple. Danaher almost threw it out, but it was gleefully accepted. From Grenvold on to Fletcher, and now Wallace. Short kick. Ola Renshaw gets away with it, finding Michael Pryor. But that's not good. Into the pocket and out of bounds. Barry Young fooling no one. Sorry, Barry. Throw in to take place.
It was a very poorly directed kick, as we see Dennis Pagan anxiously looking on. There's Rodney Eade, former Star Hawk, in the background. So 6 points the margin. North in front. Quick kick was by Mark Roberts. Here's Joe Mercedes centering the ball. That was good football, and he finds a big fish. Salmon on to Ricky Ola Renshaw. Didn't go to their advantage. Back to Salmon. A quick kick. Further afield with a hand pass. Ola Renshaw grabbed around the neck. And it'll be Ricky Ola Renshaw's kick from 45.
Well, there's certainly the free kicks there, but the first question mark was on Big Paul Salmon. The handball there to Shea Cockatoo Collins when Shea Cockatoo Collins was running towards Dandenong rather than to the goal square.
This to level the scores.
So, well, he looks as though he's holding that for a torpedo punt kick, is he? Yes, he is. He goes to top. Well, why wouldn't you go a drop punt from there? That's a strange one. I thought he was well within distance. Kevin Sheedy not happy, as you can see. I thought that was almost a gimme from there.
Yeah, and Kevin would be expressing dismay at exactly the same thing, Peter, that a drop punt was the kick that needed to go from there.
5 points the margin. Laidley to bring it back. 5 minutes remaining.
Mind you, he's not a really long kick, Ricky Ola Renshaw.
The delay is for this. McMartin copping one on the head. And time for a towel and a tidy up. So that change is made. And here comes Laidley. Heading towards Longmire, but there are a couple of big flyers. Stevens weighted down. Gets it towards Robert Scott. It's under all sorts of pressure. He did try and get it out, however, and that's all he's got to do. Schwass almost held it a fraction too long. Nichols picks it up and chips it in towards the middle. Now Roberts has a chance to the running Rock. Anthony Rock, 2 bounces. He's inside 50. From 40 metres, he shoots towards goal, and he misses to the right. As we said, Martin getting tidied up, but Terry, some opportunities being wasted now. And there's a fine mark taken by Roberts. What a beauty. Goes straight over the top of the umpire's head and finds Stevens. Second in the club championship. Into full forward, into Carey. He's booted 5 goals 2, and he's taken 10 marks in another awesome performance.
And what's very good here, I mean, Mark Roberts' mark is a great effort there. He's been a fine acquisition to the North Melbourne side, moved it on quickly, and what great hands there.
Carey for number 6. And again to just stretch the Roos lead. He strolls in towards goal and pops it through.
Well, the North Melbourne champ has kicked his 6th. And a handy little break now, 12 points. It's tapped down the ground by Capuano. Here's Denham, shuffles it out. Buick gets us little kick to it towards the half-forward line. Danilchenko grabs it and straight up in the air back towards the centre. Salmon sets himself, can't take the mark. Oh, they go in hard. Grenvold and Trent Nichols has shuffled out towards King. King to Campbell. Now it's on the rock. Danger here for the Bombers as the long kick comes into Longmire at the back. He had his name written all over that. And he will kick from about 35 to 40 metres.
Just too tall for Tim Darcy on that occasion. Darcy been a great player, and he's still a very good player for now the Essendon side, pushing back, but John Longmire just too much height there.
Well, his kick one, it was a great kick by Rocky to kick to the advantage of Longmire. He saw him ducking back. So Johnny Longmire, pretty accurate kick for goal. And here's those couple of minutes before three-quarter time at the end of the quarter that we've talked about so much tonight. An ordinary kick this time by Longmire. Didn't kick hard through that ball, stabbed it a little bit, and it's forced over the line for a throw-in. As the rugged Mickey Martin about to come back on, and Terry Wheeler's eyes light up with delight. One of his favourites. Salmon taps at the ground. Good tackle by Keary. Rocky's there, and the umpire will bounce it.
I mean, Wayne Carey now, Scott Cummings just hasn't got the armoury to go with Wayne Carey. Sheedy's now is looking for the future, being able to blood him with a little bit of experience, but for tonight, I think that's flaunting with danger.
Look at Trent Nichols. Look at that for a kick. 11-14 plays 9-8. Nichols now has 2 goals, but that was a beauty. From the middle, North will run it out again. A Rock kicks up towards the half-forward line. Carey with one hand. Darcy comes steaming out of defence for Essendon. Kicks up over centre wing. The Bombers now need a couple of quick goals. Blakey defends at the back. Schwass tries to shrug the Fraser tackle. Back to Blakey. A high kick. Gathers little distance. Still on centre wing. Mercedes there. Court gives it away to Olorenshaw. Nowhere to go. Off to Danaher. A little time this time to Steady. Chipping it across the ground. Could be all right for Fletcher, but he's going to have to be quick. Danilchenko gets him. Not before he gets it away to Michael Pryor. Up towards full forward. Mickey Martin back in number 6. Takes the mark, and he'd be loving it. Off to Blakey. Caught plenty of the sun. Kicks it high, and it sits in the air. Stevens had front spot, but couldn't take it. Denham caught. Off to Buick. Claimed by Blakey. What's the umpire going to say?
Holding the man.
Claimed illegally.
Holding the man.
Darren Buick to take it. Just on a minute remaining, Pete.
So we've got Hurd and Martin, but there's another loose man down there in Joe Mercedes. Now, he's certainly within kicking distance. He'll kick from about 52 metres. Let's see if he marks that spot on the turf. He's taking his time to go back. And as I said, it'll be about a 52 or 3 metre kick, so it'll take a good kick from there. Certainly taking plenty of time about their kicking for goal. And you'd move it a bit quicker, would you, Terry?
Well, no, I'm happy with that, but I'd rather Paul Salmon to get himself right in the square. He's a bit better position there now for Mark.
The Bombers need this. Joe Mercedes drives a goal. It starts to swing. It hit the post. That's bad luck because that was an excellent kick. He drove it low. There's not much height in it, and it kept going. But they need one before they've only got 17 seconds, so they're not likely to as the short kick comes in. To Laidley, play on. You hear the umpire calling as Laidley drives it out of the danger zone. Swash sets himself and takes a ripper.
Started well, quiet second quarter, but has hit back pretty hard. Kicks towards the centre wing. Siren time. And another excellent quarter here at Waverley Park. Mick Martin is going to again have to have treatment on that head injury, and he's going to be possibly in his 3rd jumper for the night. But it's all set up, Terry Wheeler, for a fascinating final term.
It is, Sandy, and I think North Melbourne have probably been the more consistent side right throughout. They've kicked 4 goals in the first quarter, 4 in the second, and 3 that quarter. and to outscore Essendon in each one of those particular segments of the play has been a very good effort. Essendon have been extremely hard in at the ball, been very dogged, but a little bit of indirectness I think has cost them at crucial times, whereas North, when they are direct, and why wouldn't you be when you have Wayne Carey in such fine form, John Longmire and Mark Roberts being the options in that line for you.
North led by 4 points at quarter time, 14 at half time and 17 at three-quarter time. 17 points the margin here at three-quarter time at Waverley. North in front 11-14 to 9-9. We spoke to the injured Ian Fairley of North Melbourne at half-time. The Bombers too have their injury problems. One of their stars is down with our star, Dipper.
Thanks very much, Sandy. With a man with the good looks and the short hair. Gavin, what happened here?
I thought for the summer, you know, get cut short, keep yourself a bit cooler, yeah.
Do you have like Samson, lose all your power?
Oh, I hope not.
Now, the injury, when do we see you back?
I'm not far off. I'm probably 2 weeks away, so looking forward to it.
You've had a good pre-season?
Well, I've been injured. I've been working out in the gym a lot and swimming a lot, but I'm starting to run, so hopefully a few practice matches will get me fit.
Now, your thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, it's been a good game. We've got a lot of older blokes out and a few of the younger boys are putting their hands up, but it's been a great game. You know, of course, we've carried down one end. I'm sure he keeps everyone looking at him, but yeah, for sure, it's a great game to watch. You feel like jumping out there and trying to help the boys.
You're not wrong. Now, this year, it's sort of second year after the Brownlow. You think the pressure will be off you a little bit?
Oh, well, I'd hope so, but the pressure's always on, isn't it? It's a pretty tough game, and hopefully I'd learn a few things from last year, and this year hopefully I'll do a little bit better.
We'll have to see you back shortly. Now, Sandy, before we go, mate, the wind has certainly picked up, as you can tell by my hair, and it's certainly turned into about a 5-goal breeze now.
You considered a hairdresser, Dipper? Here we go. Final quarter at Waverley. Just a few spits of rain floating across the ground. He plays 63. And the Bombers come back. Somerville doing the ruck work up against Capuano. Somerville goes it alone. Simons tries to slap it out. Armstrong goes over the top of him. Ola Renshaw quickly onto the left boot. They need the first one. There's no question of that. And James Hurd. Just too good on that occasion for Mick Martin, despite some very close attention. Kicks close to the man on the mark. What's Salmon? Well, they got him from the front, they got him from the back. A rock comes away again, but James Hurd couldn't hold the slippery ball. And Martin will come away. Into the centre. North may be able to capitalise on this. Allison goes up towards full forward. Look out. Lomar's well in front of Dustin Fletcher.
And back at the other end of the ground, Terry, there was not enough support for Hurd when he was one out against 4 North Melbourne players.
Essendon weren't able to get the numbers to the ball there, and the ball being a little bit greasy with this misty rain that's now falling. North took the turnover, and they've certainly made them pay with this build-up.
Longmire has just snuck it home. Just snuck it home for one behind. As his teammates on the bench look on. 11-15 plays 9-9.
Sandy,
a very handy lead.
Sandy, I've been impressed, and I guess a little bit parochial here, but Keenan Reynolds, I think, has done a very good job at centre-half back. He's now standing Paul Salmon, and in that last contest, there was no hesitation. The big thumper from behind, a trademark from Keenan Reynolds.
So Tim Darcy in towards the half-back area. He's looking for Somerville. Here's Mercedes trying to shuffle on. Carey has kicked 6 goals. Gets in a hand pass to Dean Laidley. Laidley hooks it back to the half-forward line. Pack develops. Good mark taken by Dustin Fletcher. A couple of good marks he's taken tonight. On to Buick, the low trajectory kick. That's a beautifully placed kick by Buick. He is a great exponent of that drop punt. So he finds Mercedes. Mercedes back to Buick. See the way he keeps that low. Good play to loop that. Roberts. Laidley. Oh, look at Carey way out there on his own on centre wing, and he's going to bob it in long as the rain tumbles down. Darcy front position over the back. It's hooked back by Pryor. He's lying. Well, that's good play to then knock it on. He would have been pinged. Renvold to Cummings. to Mark Fraser. Look at his paces. He gets it away towards half forward with a kick. Up they go. Cockatoo Collins caught. Just gets his boot to it. Hurd. He's got backup support here. Well played, Michael Simons, as he sprints clear, brings it up towards Salmon. Is that a free kick in the back? Umpire didn't think so. Back it comes towards Salmon, who knocks it on. A tunnel ball job, but North Melbourne there in numbers. They've got a good defence, North, and Blakey kicks it wide, and he's found his man in Stevens.
Anthony Stevens from half back. Goes towards Allison. Getting front spot. Darren Buick. Going to have to come back, yes. Well, the rain's not going to make it any easier for Essendon to close the gap.
No, it's not. I think the break that North Melbourne's got now will be sufficient, but just so impressive, that back line of North Melbourne, the way they're cleaning up at all stages, supporting each other. Very impressive.
St Kilda team is here in force tonight to have a look at their next opposition. Dustin Fletcher towards Cockatoo Collins, but is it far enough? He's under a ton of pressure as he pushes towards the line and just gets a gentle note from Wayne Schwass to make sure he's over. David Calthorpe broke a nose early on. Is going to get another run by the look of things. Roberts and Grenbold, an interesting pair to contest the ruck work. Masiti gets it away at the back, but a good smother on Tim Darcy's kick. Sees another throw in. Well, two old cats. Robert Scott in front of almost 20,000.
It's a bit of crowd, isn't it?
Yep. Both finding new homes, Scott and Darcy. Good luck to them. Trying to force his way through was Michael Pryor. Buick's kick partly smothered. Schwass left it towards Nichols. He couldn't take it cleanly. Grenbold gives the hand pass away to Buick. Hurriedly onto the left boot. Gets slung. Does get it away. Scott at the bottom. Hand pass a little astray. Straight to Danaher. But he in turn goes straight to Laidley. Dean Laidley kicks long in towards full forward. Somerville's at the back. Couldn't take it cleanly. Fletcher pushes towards the line and over.
It's been a good return night for Dustin Fletcher. You know, it's his first run for the season. With this under his belt, I think it'll put him in good stead to return to the side for this season.
So Peter Somerville against Alex Oshinko. It's tapped back towards the line. Just a little bit of rain making conditions pretty slippery. North Melbourne bench, there's Jason Danilchenko there with the blonde locks.
And Archer looking a little bit sorry.
And Archer did his ankle early in the game.
It's a real pity, though.
Now, Carey to do the ruck work. I wonder if he'll try and grab it out of this now. Is this blood? Is this the blood rule or not? No, just a bit of a warning from the umpire about something. So the throw in the forward pocket. Roberts is there. Grenbold, Buick, North Melbourne. Well, it's Grenbold eventually who takes it away. Schwass at the back. Can't mark. Races after it. Quick hand pass. Gee, they're good at ground level. King gets it further afield to Blakey. Here's Mickey Martin up the ground. He goes for this chip pass. And it hits the target. Mark Roberts. A long way out from goal. He's kicking it wide. Craig Scholes there on his own. Gee, they're making some space, these North Melbourne players. They're running. Got numbers round the ball and they make a lot of space. Here's Big Alex. And no one goes near him. And Alex says thank you very much and is going to have a shot from 35, 40 metres.
That's very disappointing and very poor defensive work from the Essendon side there. I don't know where Somerville ended up in that exchange, his direct opponent, but when the ball is in that area, he's out the back, he's a mile out of it there, just coming in at the last moment.
So Alex Oshinko kicks for goal, brings it back and right through the middle.
Very, very tough for Essendon now, and even out of the middle they've got a free kick and go charging down towards Carey territory again. Look at that. Oh, not paid with a slippery ball. North fans not happy. Wayne Schwass will run out of room. You've paid it, Terry?
Yeah, in these conditions.
Let's have another look at it. touch and go, isn't it? Anyway, it's history now as Ola Renshaw pumps it towards Hurd at centre wing. He got a bit of a nudge from Mick Martin, but does well, giving it across to McCurry. Up towards half forward. Barry Young's tried hard all night. Scholl is hot on his hammer. Young could have been pushed. Scholl keeps going with Blakey.
There's the luck of the draw, isn't it? You know, Young in the front position definitely did get the push. The umpire doesn't pay it. Next minute turns around and gives one to the North Melbourne side, which was there. It's just the luck of the game.
Back it comes again. Cockatoo Collins having a spell. Bombers have won the last 2 night flags. It looks as though a miracle will be needed for a hat-trick.
And a miracle for David Kelthorpe, I think, as he comes off once again on the blood rule.
I was just looking at Blakey on screen a moment ago. One of the many Fitzroy players playing with other clubs.
Yeah.
Gee, you could make a good side out of them, couldn't you?
An excellent team. Well, of course, we've seen Matthew Armstrong in action tonight.
What could you make out of that nose, though?
His mother would still love him.
Blakey to take it. Misty rain persisting. It is starting to resemble a winter's night here at Waverley as Allison goes charging clear. Look at that. Would love seeing those coming at him like a bullet, John Longmire. Short passes again. And Robert Scott chips in.
An exciting side, North Melbourne, Sandy, aren't they?
Yes, they've got the ingredients with these combination of wonderful runners and some very, very fine athletes. Bearing in mind you've still got players the calibre of Corey McKernan to come back. Ian Fairley is another one still out.
Well, he had a good season last year, improved out of sight.
Robert Scott to goal. Yes, sirree.
5 goals the margin. North Melbourne again most impressive. So rain still tumbles down here in this final quarter. Ashenko wins it. Simons, quick kick out of the centre. Well, the former Port Melbourne boy again grabs it. David King finds Mark Roberts now. Roberts, well, he's just on the forward side of centre. He's going with a long kick. It is a long one too. It bounces through. Oh no, it just rolls across. And I think Cummings had nearly given it up for dead. Carey was calling for that ball. As the laconic looking coach, Dennis Pagan, looking on.
What a great decision by Mark Roberts. I mean, the open goal square, the slippery surface, the ball was going to have a real chance of being able to slip through. All he had to do was hit the square.
Well, here's Scott Cummings, who had a very tough time of it early because he lined up at full foot on Mickey Martin, was well held by Martin. With a stint at centre half back on Carey. There's Somerville. He's dropped a few marks. Fraser. Danaher. Masiti. Joe Masiti in towards half bottom. Paul Salmon takes. They need a couple of quick goals, the Bombers. He's kicking it out wide here. Oh, bad kick. Armstrong intercepts it. Poor play by Paul Salmon. A long kick by Armstrong towards full forward. Tried to knock over the back was Longmire. Here's Anthony Rock. On to Roberts. It's a wild hand pass. It's, was that Ola Renshaw or McCurry? Gee, they look alike. It was McCurry, in fact. It's stumped away. Back it comes to Salmon. He's gone for another hand pass. Here's a chance for Cockatoo Collins from 50. Trying to bring it back. Over the back is Young. And he kicks a good goal. Good play. So Barry Young kicks his 3rd goal. 1 in the 2nd quarter, 1 in the 3rd, and 1 in the 4th. Does 13-16 plays 10-9.
And that's a solid contribution from Barry Young when he backs it up with 3 goals from the last round Ansett Cup match against Fitzroy here at Waverley. Cockatoo Collins being able to handle the ball well. But Essendon, they've struggled along. North Melbourne kicked the 4 previous goals to build up a 30-point lead. Young now has slotted one in to pull it back a little bit, but I think it's now a little bit too far away from an Essendon victory.
25 points the margin. Ashenko, a big run, a rock, taken high.
Tony, you're off.
Well, he was told he was off, away he goes. Pryor, a little too eager.
You shouldn't be trying to take screamers on the half-back line.
No, he should be a bit more disciplined than that. But and also this introduction of the umpire being able to cancel the advantage rule if he doesn't believe it is an advantage. I think it's been a great introduction, and that was a good call from the umpire there.
Robert Scott, 4 kicks and 6 marks. In towards full forward. Cummings at the back. Takes it off hands and drifts it to Danaher. Away he goes. Through the misty rain. He plants one in towards the centre. And a good mark taken by Lloyd. Coming into this line-up late. This is Ricky Olorenshaw. Trying to bend it round, but doing it 90 degrees. And found it a little too tough. He gets another chance. Pokes it high towards full forward. No mark taken. Could have almost been a communication problem between Simons and Salmon. And eventually it's over the line. Well, he's going to have another crack. Persistence is a wonderful thing.
He's been on and off that ground all night.
When in doubt, try again.
Well, let's see what Paul Salmon can do here. He'd be underdone as far as match fitness goes, of course. Now, here's Schwass, who burnt in the first quarter, probably best man on the ground. And had a quiet second term. Olorenshaw, he's been a good player, Terry. Olorenshaw.
He certainly has. He's had some 27 possessions right throughout the evening, and each quarter has been one of Essendon's best players.
So, half forward for the Bombers. They're still battling hard. Could have been a free kick to Young as he was eased out of that boundary throw and socket off the ground. Still the Bombers battling hard. Pryor is there. Mercury gets it back to David Calthorpe. He's running around in circles. Now he gets his boot to it. Straight up in the air. Courage needed. The bounce. Which way will it go? Well, there's Lufit. He's tackled hard. G. North were there. Longmire. They were there in numbers.
Well, look at this.
Yeah, beautiful pass as it come from Blakey across to Allison, and the chip pass finds Campbell. Is that 50? No, the player being spoken to. And Calthorpe having plenty to say.
Don't worry about my nose, he says.
So, David Calthorpe on the mark. The rain is still tumbling down. And Warren Campbell will kick for goal for his first.
Created a lot of space there. It was just the breakthrough half-back. There are a heap of options there for North Melbourne, and now it's Campbell with the opportunity.
And Campbell's a pretty good kick for goal. The drop punt. He's hooked it slightly. And one behind. I've said that 5 times tonight, and they've all missed.
You've had it back.
Well, a lot of them are missed.
It's the usual old thing, though, isn't it? You put the Moz on. 13-17 plays 10-9. Fletcher short to Young. So it looks as though St Kilda will be tackling North Melbourne. So we move into the final zone. Joe Mercedes through centre wing as Salmon in from the side. A good attempt with a slippery ball. James Hird also does well. Sweeps it across to Mark Mercury. Outside 50. Stabs in towards full forward. And Wallace takes it on the chest. Just 4 kicks and 4 marks for the night.
It's a good build-up, that one. It's probably been one of the better ones of the latter part of the game for Essendon, in that they got the clear break through the centre, and Mercury was able to slot Wallace right on the chest.
This for his first goal.
Well, Dean Wallace has kicked his first, and I actually think he's a better player up forward than he is in defence. Played a couple of really good games at centre-half forward. He has.
I think the same guy brings some good qualities to the club. I mean, there is still a little bit of a place for the man who plays the game very, very hard, and he certainly does that. And we must remember, the clash with Milhana in the final series, where he assisted in putting Carlton right out of that contest.
And here's Anthony Rock. The Bombers still battling away, even though North have got on top. Well, mark dropped there by Longmire, but a slippery ball, socket off the ground and just bounces. That was by Dustin Fletcher. Bounces before the line for a throw-in half-forward for North. 14 kicks. A good game, as Terry Wheeler said earlier, for Dustin Fletcher back in that side. Very tall, promising player, can play in a number of positions. North is still only 20 points, and we've got just under 8 minutes left. They wouldn't want North to get another one as Stevens goes forward. Here's Carey, pushing, shoving, trying to use his strength. Soccers off the ground, Carey. Great play, number 7. He is a class act, and look at the North supporters. They love him, and that was just sheer skill.
It was because he knew exactly what he was doing. The ball comes up into a contest in the air. He's been very predominant in his pushing and shoving in the contest and been quite strong, but maintaining his feet. Allison, I thought, was going to first go on his left foot, but then Carey actually uses the outside of his right foot to be able to slot it through, and quite happy with himself with his 7th goal for the evening.
Back in the middle once more. They retain a 26-point break. Stevens and Schwass make sure that David Grenbold is going nowhere. Bombers do have a number of key players to come back though. Mark Harvey, Gary O'Donnell, Bendall not out there as we mentioned. Gavin Wanganeen also still to start. Ricky Olorenshaw to Joe Mercedes. Bends that one round the corner. Wants to give Simons or Denham a little bit of room. They're both there. Leaves it to Sean Denham. Another former Cat. There's 3 of them out on this ground tonight. Here's Blakey. Around his body, up towards centre wing. Darcy was a spoiler. Back to Denham again. And Mercedes almost throws it out. Luford under pressure from Allison, the 233s. And eventually over the line.
They will be a much better side, Essendon. They do have a lot of star players out. And I've got no doubt they'll be in the final series.
Yep. Ishenko, by the same token, North would be expected to give it a mighty shake as well.
They ever.
Denham gives it away to Darcy. Back again he goes. Rain has started to clear as Lloyd and Stevens head over the line. He's worked very hard, Anthony Stevens, over the summer. Armstrong in picture wearing 14. King comes over the top. That was Armstrong. Off to Rock. Very, very powerful running machine is North Melbourne. Calthorpe. Nose or no nose. Gives it to Darcy. Olorenshaw on his own. Hectares. Well, he stopped for a moment and had a look up forward and then just chipped over the top, putting Mercury under a bit of pressure. He goes back towards Olorenshaw and really gained nothing.
They've had that real stop-start part of their game all night. They really haven't had a flow about their movement into the forward line. You know, we've got to acknowledge the pressure that North Melbourne players have been able to put on them. But I think as the season progresses and we move into the true season, we will see a much better Essendon side than what perhaps we've seen here tonight, because what they've got to build on is some fine fighting qualities. Every one of the players out there from Essendon tonight have really attacked the ball, and North Melbourne have thoroughly deserved this win, but they have had to work extremely hard for it.
One area that Olorenshaw has to improve is the depth of his kicking. You'll notice Terry, sometimes when he gets it even on his own, he tends to pop it up in the air to the forwards instead of driving it low and getting it to them quickly.
It's good to encourage him to take the man on a little bit more, so he is running forward as he delivers in, pretty much as Mark Fraser does. So it may be to Olorensshaw's advantage having Fraser in the side with him, and perhaps develop some of the skills that Mark Fraser brings.
Well, there's a couple of changes being made here. King's coming off, and there's Chris Danaher about to come on. Might be Hurd being rested, or is he going down to do the ruck work? I reckon Hurd might have damaged his hand early in the match. There he is doing the ruck work, but he's been a bit quiet the last couple of quarters. Socket off the ground by Schwass. Here's a chance for Campbell as he races in, brings it in towards goal. It's going to bounce and skids through for a behind.
You're right, James Hurd off.
Yes, I think he damaged that hand very early, and he's been a lot quieter since then, Terry.
Yeah, and I think Shirties are probably assessing the game, and this one's gone. Why risk one of your better players out there who has played extremely well? It's not as if James needs this last 10 minutes to be able to regain a little bit of touch. I think he's been an excellent player right throughout for Essendon.
Darcy brings it back in. Barry Young's done pretty well tonight. Bangs it into the middle, and Lloyd, youngster, takes a mark. 3 kicks and 3 marks. Cockatoo Collins was trying to do it from behind. Difficult with veteran Ross Smith in front of you. He gives very little away. To the outer side, wanting Danilchenko, but Grenbold and Stevens both there. Danilchenko will get another opportunity. Swings it round his body, keeping it close to the boundary line, and Anthony Rock has time before Lloyd arrives on the scene. Not a good bounce for Carey. Allison trying soccer tactics and then eventually just palming it out towards Big Alex. Taken by Salmon. Gives it away to Luford. Olorenshaw caught by Scott. Salmon gets it out towards Simons. Now Lloyd again. Goes to the outer side, but the whistle had sounded. And Joe Mercedes is called a play on. Does so towards Darcy, but it's almost like treading water at the moment. Olorenshaw finally gets clear. Wobbles one across the ground. Somerville in front, poking it back towards Mercury, who gives it away to Barry Young. Look out! Stevens and Reynolds on the scene. Reynolds gets it away to Campbell. He finds Smith. North Melbourne defence holding firm and going to the outer side where Allison lurks. Has a look up forward. Just pokes it round his body. Campbell stands his ground and takes the mark.
Well, he's an improved player, Campbell, as he brings it back. But Simons gets into that hole at halfback to take the mark. And he looks pretty fit, Michael Simons. We know he's strong overhead, but he's moving very well. So is Barry Young. Towards the centre of the ground. Half volley to Mercury. He'll be better with a run under his belt too as he gets it to Kelthorpe. Kelthorpe in towards the pocket. Oh, almost a mark there to Wallace. Couldn't quite hang on to it, but he gets it out. Good play to Danaher. Danaher shuffles it further afield. Here's David Grenbold down there. Oh, they lose it to Martin. Martin to Scholl, and that strong North Melbourne defence. They're always there backing each other up. Armstrong dummies the handball. Then there's a bounce.
Good run.
Armstrong's going to bomb it in long down towards the direction of Carey. Use of the body. Carey, well done by Cummings to hold his position. Darcy, now Cummings, and Cummings going to chip it around to Barry Young.
He takes the mark on halfback. Comes inside towards Simons. Produced a couple of extraordinary leaps earlier in the night. Mercedes pops one over the top to Danaher. The last of the Danaher clan at Windy Hill. Big fly, but way too early for Mark Mercury. Rocks away, off to Blakey with a couple of minutes remaining. Danilchenko on the outer side. Can get away from Olorenshaw and run. But Olorenshaw persisted as North Melbourne make a change. Carey coming off for the last few minutes and Matt Capuano going back out onto the ground. This is Luford, caught in all sorts of trouble. Young defence has been sorely tested tonight. Simons, first one way, then the other. Young provides the shepherd. It enables him to go down towards Lloyd, almost in the middle. Wants Danaher. Out in front of Smith. Shrugs a couple of tackles, does it pretty well, and then centres it, finding Somerville. Still well outside as Carey has a spell. Has finished the night with 7 goals. Another match-winning performance. 11 marks and 17 kicks for Wayne Carey. Somerville's kick going across the face. Laidley threads his way through, gives it away to Keenan Reynolds. He passes into the centre. They're out of trouble to Campbell in the middle.
Campbell off and running. He's a far more mature player now. He finds Allison. Danger here for the Bombers. Allison. He's going to run round the man on the mark. He straightens up, chips it in towards the pocket. It's wide though. He was looking for Capuano and he's missed him. And over the line. Capuano, by the way, a famous name at Essendon. Barry Capuano, a great wingman, number 12 in the old days. Beautiful running drop kick, Terry. You're too young to remember him. Now, Anthony Rock, no, it's not, it's Scott hooking it back in front of goal, and the mark taken by Kelthorpe.
Simons leaves it for Pryor. Runs away from the danger zone as the rain again tumbles down. He finds Mark Mercury almost down to the middle. Mercury's kick is high, difficult one for Cockatoo Collins to mark. Again, it's Nichols who tidies up to Roberts. Up towards half forward. Olorenshaw takes it again from Pryor to Cockatoo Collins on centre wing. under pressure. He tries to bend it back. Straight into the arms of Trent Nichols. The reigning champs are out of the night-time competition. North Melbourne will go on, staying in the race. 14-18, 102. Essendon 11-9, 75. Did Dean Laidley enjoy the night, Dipper?
Thanks very much, Sandy. What a tough game tonight, Dean.
It was a very tough game. Both sides fought it out pretty well. You know, we had this, the rain came in the last quarter and we were going with the wind, so maybe that helped us a bit there.
Now, the side this year looks very, very strong, very fit.
Look, we've added a few midfielders and we've got a pretty good defence now and a pretty good forward line, so that'll stand us in good stead for the rest of the year.
And they named you the junkyard dog because of the way you just hang on to people.
I'll tell you what, I'm not a rap for that, no. Peter McKenna, where is he?
He's upstairs, actually.
Right here.
Shocker, but still, I'm happy with it, I suppose, if I can keep getting a kick.
Good on you, mate. Enjoy it.
That's right.
Thanks, Sandy.
Good on you, Dipper. Yes, well, you've done that, Pete, haven't you? Another one you've stitched up.
Term of endearment.
Good name for film. North Melbourne 14-18, 102. Essendon 11-9, 75.
New South Wales at Otago, Queensland at Auckland. Rugby Super 10s at their very best. Coming this weekend on 7 Sports.
It's been another very exciting performance by Wayne Carey, who booted half of his team's goals. Finished with 7 of 14-18, 102. The Bombers managed 11-9, 75 for the second successive game. Barry Young booted 3 goals. Well, the Adelaide Crows continue their Ansett Australia Cup campaign this coming Sunday. Of course, you'll see it all on 7. But they're delighted to welcome back their spearhead in Tony Modra, who missed a week. Tony, as I welcome you back to AFL football for season 1995, I guess that 1 week to you probably seemed like 4 or 5.
Yeah, definitely, Sandy. I mean, I was up in the grandstand watching it last weekend. I was just waiting to get out there, so hopefully this Sunday, no worries.
Well, a long, hot summer comes to an end for all players. You're not alone there. What's pre-season for Tony Modra been like, and has it been any different?
Well, it's been the hardest pre-season I've put in so far, Sandy, and with the weights department especially, because I had a back injury last year, but this year it's been no worries, no restrictions at all.
Has Robert Shaw been any assistance in that department, or is that something you just took upon yourself?
I basically just took it upon myself, and I mean, saying towards Robert, he's a great coach and all the players get along with him well, and I mean, he just puts that confidence back into us, which is what we need this year.
Without wishing to put you under the microscope too quickly to compare coaches, but you've had a South Australian and a South Australian influence in Graham Corns, now the Victorian coach and the Victorian influence. Do you notice a difference yet, or is it too early?
It's a bit early yet.
What are you expecting?
A big year, also for the Adelaide Football Club, apart from myself too.
Well, what, 70 goals last year? Were you disappointed? Were you frustrated with the year?
Well, I started off okay, but towards the end of the year, myself personally, I mean, I didn't kick enough goals for the club, but also the club, the players, all the other players, they're a bit down too. So this year we're just full of confidence and we're just raring to go.
Tone, from your point of view, was it just form or a lack of it, or was it the pressures from the game and those people in and out of it that caused you to drop form?
I don't know. I think it was mainly my form and things that happen around the game also, but this year I'm just going to block all that out and concentrate on football.
You tend to block that out when you're riding these waves, as you do when you go away surfing. Is that something you do to get away from all the pressures? It must be so peaceful and so quiet.
There's a time and a place for surfing, and I mean, during the off-season over Christmas I went up to the Gold Coast actually and got away from it all, but now I'm just concentrating on the football.
You've come into a game, Tony, where there are a number of fabulous full forwards. You're amongst an elite group. Jason Dunstall, Tony Lockett, to name but a couple. Stuart Lowe looks as though he's going to be marvellous this year for the Saints. Do you try and emulate any one of those players? Do you look at those players?
Yeah, I don't put myself in their category as yet because I've only played 2 years, and my first year was good. My second year, of course, only was 70 last year. I think if I kick another century this year and contribute to the side a bit more, then I might put myself up with them.
Well, how do you go about learning from them? Is it a matter of sitting at home watching a tape of, say, a Jason Dunstall?
Oh yeah, I guess it's like that. I mean, a full forward's got a role to do. I mean, he just keeps leading and everything else and taking their marks and just making sure he kicks the goals for the side. The players up the ground do all the hard work. I just got to finish it off for them.
Well, your pre-season's over. If there was one aspect of your game that you'd like to lift to a higher level this season, what would it be? Besides probably kicking another 30 or 40 goals.
I would just be a lot stronger myself, and that's what I've been doing in the gym this year, and hopefully it works out for me all this year.
Well, you're back in business on the weekend, Tony. I'm sure that everyone in South Australia
is going to be right behind you. We wish you well for a fine season in 1995.
Thanks, mate, and I just hope I can get back in the side this weekend after last week's performance.
Stan Alves and his Chargers were all here tonight to look at this match. Now he knows that he has a date with North Melbourne and Wayne Carey. What a game, eh? Stuart Lowe up one end of the ground and Wayne Carey up the other. Footscray and Sydney do battle on the weekend, and of course West Coast and Adelaide still to compete to decide the other match there. But a very, very good-looking finals race shaping up. I guess if we're going to be really particular, we could say that the last quarter and the rain marred what could have been an excellent spectacle for the whole night.
Yeah, I agree, Sandy. The rain coming in did diminish the game a little bit, but you couldn't help but be impressed by North Melbourne leading up to that, where at half-time they led by 14 points and their captain had already scored 4 goals in the first half, and he's opened the second half in this great style here, kicking his 5th goal and really putting his side back into where they want to be. And he wasn't the only option there. Mark Roberts, a great mark. Longmire, Roberts and Carey, and Roberts moves the ball on very quickly here, and you don't have to be an Einstein to work out who actually is going to finish up with this one as well. Carey just controlled that forward line. He's really in form. He's looking forward to an excellent season and kicked his 6th goal there. And also we have not only the marking options in the North Melbourne forward line, but some great smalls. And here's Trent Nichols slotting one over his shoulder.
Can I just throw one at you from left field? Would Stan Alves do something radical, do you think, to try and curb the brilliance of Carey?
No, I think what you've got to do is, to some extent, accept the Carey factor. You know, he's really controlling the game. He's playing so well. And I think Stan needs to really examine his own game and see what he's got up his sleeve to be able to kick a better score against North Melbourne. And Stuart Lowe obviously will be a key to that game.
So someone like Jamie Shanahan mightn't sleep all that well tonight. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think so. I think Jamie's probably quite a logical choice at this stage. Big Alex Ashenko jumped in for his little bit in the game, and we saw Robert Scott, again, adding to the midfield of this North Melbourne machine, and we spoke all throughout the game that the additional numbers of Scott and Armstrong into the North Melbourne side have really given it a formidable feel throughout, and they used the ball so very, very well through the midfield, and Scott finishing up with a goal. But then to cap the evening off and to kick the final goal here for himself and be his 7th was Wayne Carey. Finishing with over 17 disposals, 11 marks in some difficult conditions, having to take on probably 4 or 5 opponents throughout the evening. But here at ground level, could have used the left foot, but used the outside of the right and slots it through.
It's very easy to get carried away with enthusiasm so early on in the season, but just looking at the stats, they do look an outstanding combination, North Melbourne.
They do, Sandy, and there is a distinction in the stats there where Essendon showed that they do possess the ball a lot, and tonight they just didn't make any forward ground with it. Whereas in contrast, North Melbourne, with those marking options that we've mentioned up in the forward line, they can move forward with a lot more confidence and use the ball much longer through the midfield with the kicks and the penetration of Swash, Allison, Laidley and Blakey coming off the half-back line. They've got a very good setup just at the moment.
In defence of the Bombers, however, they did have a lot out tonight, and someone like Mark Harvey could well have got the job. It's all irrelevant now, though, isn't it?
It is irrelevant, unfortunately, but I agree with you. I think Harvey would have got the job, and perhaps with his experience may have been able to curb it a little bit more, but North and Carey look great tonight.
More shortly. Stay with us.